Everybody, should have Nobody Else's Auto. 7 o'clock Sunday evening time for a little Sunday night live chat. Looks like we got several guys on already. Charlie's here with us. Eloy's here with us. Weston is on. Bill Wagaman is here. Pete's on with us. Kevin L made it. So, Jim's here. As always, we are live on two formats, both Facebook and YouTube. So, looks like Facebook is connecting right now as well. So, hopefully that will work. Sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge on both formats, but sometimes but we've got guys that like to watch on Facebook as well, so I do still run them both. So as you see me glancing back and forth at comments, I've got two monitors up, and that's what I'm doing. So Johnny Z's here. Lee from New York made it. So lots of stuff to do tonight. We'll start off with some open chat. I almost didn't know if I was going to actually make it on time tonight. Literally just a few minutes ago, got off the phone with a good friend, Jim Wicks. So we've got a boots on the ground report from Meekum Houston. I just got some information from him, which is great because that was part of what we wanted to talk about tonight anyway. Brian Dispatch is here. So we will catch some of that stuff. We're going to talk about the raffle tonight because I'm going to shake things up in the raffle a little bit. I got a new idea, so we'll see what you guys think of that. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. In fact, we'll do that earlier than normal so you guys know what we're talking about, see if we can get to see what your guys' feedback is on my new idea. Michael from New Jersey's on Facebook. Dad's on with us. Alan from Arizona made it. So we'll talk about some of that. We'll get into the promo model. We'll do some badges and ornaments. Going to even do a hood ornament tonight in the part of the badge and ornament type deal. Bill Disk made it. From Delaware, Eric's on with us. Scott's here. And then, of course, story time, something a little bit different tonight, something that you would never have expected to find in a tree row in Kansas. But Dad did find this car about 30 years ago, so it was bad, but that's kind of an interesting topic as well. David W. made it. And then, of course, the auctions. Auctions are jam-packed. You guys, as you guys know, we typically try to do about 20 pieces every Sunday. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more if everybody's really excited. Unless we've got technical difficulties, then sometimes we'll cut it off early. But as of right now, I kind of laid it all out and counted. Over 50 pieces stacked in here right now. Nice big pile of all kinds of cool stuff. So, over 50 pieces to choose from. So, we're actually good for quite a while. But a lot of neat stuff in there. So, anyway, Randy's here with us. Eloy's already ready to go. Nathan's Mopar Garage made it. Dennis Chapman. That's right, Kevin. The boxes are jam-packed and loaded. There's a nice big pile of all kinds of cool stuff here. And some different ideas, too, on the auction stuff that we'll get to when we get to that point. Charlie said he's feeling lucky. He's from Kansas. So we've got we've got a whole full episode planned tonight. Plus, we're going to wrap up that super cool magazine we started last week, the Motor Trend from April of 1959, with more cool articles as well as classifieds. We always love classifieds, those old magazines, plus all the cool ads. Mr. Inbaz is here. Brian Dispatch got to drive 3 days last week. That's a good sign. Sounds like things are definitely improving. If you're back in the bus 3 days a week, Brian, that's great news. Mark is here with us. So anyway, that being said, let's catch a little bit of housekeeping like we typically do. Scott's on with us on Facebook. Glad you're here, Scott. But before we get into open chat, as always, a little bit of housekeeping. Throw a share out there. Let your friends know that we're on and we are live so your friends can know if they want to jump on with us. Autocorrect. Please double check your autocorrect before you hit send in your comments. If autocorrect changes something to some wonky words and it doesn't make sense, I will skip the comment just because I don't have time to try to decipher it. If you're on the Nobody Show page on Facebook, I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto page on Facebook. You'll need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel to comment, participate in the auctions, etc., etc. If you just want to watch and hang out, you're perfectly fine over there. Not a problem at all. As always, sometimes we get a troll on here trying to stir things up. I'm going to ignore them because they're trying to get my attention because they can't get enough at home from mommy. You guys do a great job of making sure they know they're not welcome, running them off and reporting them. So if you guys see something weird pop up, I'm going to ignore it. And I know you guys are great about having my back on that stuff. So always appreciate that. Super chats are super cool. Sometimes you guys throw super chats out there. It's amazing you guys think enough of what we're doing here to do that. And anyway, so always refresh before we get into the auctions as well. So I'll try to remind you guys to do that when we get to the auctions to make sure everybody's current. But anyway, with that, let's go ahead and get Boogie and Frank's here with us. Looks like we got a decent crowd on already, so we'll go ahead and get rolling into open chat. Obviously, two big auctions this weekend, both Barrett-Jackson, Palm Beach, as well as Mecum, Houston. Like I just mentioned, our good friend Jim Wicks on the way back from Houston right now. Just literally got off the phone with him just a few minutes before we got on. So got some firsthand information from him. And if you guys weren't aware, the Barn Find Bentley, as well as the Cord that we did videos on with the Auburn Cord Duesenberg, went across the block Friday afternoon at Barrett-Jackson. So weather here's been beautiful. The storms the other day were just a little bit east of us, so it didn't really affect us. And then we had a lot of wind. We did have plenty of wind, but that was about all. We had just a few drops yesterday morning, but not even. Well, like I said, we had a few drops yesterday morning, but I was on the loader all day moving cars yesterday afternoon. So, and that loader weighs 23,000 pounds without a car on it. So if it gets very soft, I'm not going anywhere with that loader. I destroy everything out there if I do. And I move cars all day with no problem. So, or all afternoon. Thomas from Chicago's here with us. So, didn't hardly get really any of the weather. And actually, that's why we actually didn't go to the Ark City swap meet. And that's part of the reason why, was because of that forecast of Friday afternoon storms. So we were going to leave early Friday morning and run down to the Ark City swap meet. But when they were talking about wind and hail and things like that, sometime Friday afternoon, that's why we decided to just go ahead and skip that, because we didn't want to get caught, in hail and storms with, the pickup and the trailer and the golf cart on the trailer and be fighting weather. So we elected to skip that. Alan's here with us. So if John gets on with us tonight, then maybe we'll find out for sure, how that went. But we did not end up making it. So, and unfortunately, we didn't get any of it here. So that's all good news. But anyway, the Bentley and the Cord went through Friday afternoon, and they didn't do as well as Doug hoped. I don't know exactly what he was hoping for, but I know the Bentley hammered at $50,000, and I know he wanted more than that out of the Bentley. The Cord hammered at $75,000. Yeah, that's true. I should have come up to the toy show, because I hate missing toy shows. But yeah, I should have done that. But the one in April, Weston, is there one in Hayes, or is that one in Salina in July, Weston? I meant to ask you that too. So yeah, they didn't do as well as they thought. And when I talked to Wicks just a little bit ago, the reports that he got from guys that he knew at Barrett said Barrett didn't take off until Friday night. They said everything Thursday and everything the first half of Friday. Okay, so July is Salina. Okay, for some reason I was thinking that you were doing another one in Hayes in July. So, but we may have to see what we can get put together for that. But what Wicks's reports, Ken from Michigan's here from Barrett, said that Thursday and up until Friday night, everything was soft at Barrett. And I had it on part of the day waiting for those cars to come through. And I saw several like LS powered Resto Mod Chevelles at like 35, 40 grand, like 4 or 5 of them. I'm 70, 71, 72 Chevelles with LSs in them selling for 40 grand. It's like, you couldn't even think about, trying to LS swap a car for that. And that's what they were hammering for. But he said Barrett did take off Friday night, but, obviously a little too late for Doug's cars. But so obviously it wasn't, I'm sure Doug wasn't extremely thrilled about what those cars hammered at. So, Scott, the Mecum was great. Really, I prefer the presentation and commentary over Barrett. Barrett website is terribly outdated. Yeah. And I don't know. I just had it on for a couple hours Friday. That's literally all I watched of either one of them. But obviously Barrett is going through a lot of changes this year, and I'm sure they'll get a lot of that stuff tweaked, but obviously with new ownership on Barrett-Jackson, I'm sure there's a lot of things that are going to be different and going to be changed and going to be tweaked. Obviously, they've already added a New Orleans auction for this year. So the next 24 to 36 months, I feel, are going to be very interesting to see what happens with Barrett-Jackson, with new management and new ownership, in that situation. So obviously Mecum is full steam ahead. I mean, that thing is on the rails, and they got the course pouring the coals to her the way they're blowing through towns and having auctions and moving a ton of iron. So that was going to be interesting to see how this all plays out for sure. How did Jim do at Mecum this week? Because Mecum went to Houston. And that's where Jim was at. I'd say a 6'4" Challenger would be better than a 5'7" Battle Oaf, in my personal opinion, just because it's the bigger motor. But he did get some cars bought. He did buy one that was extremely interesting, especially to me, since I've got a 58 Pontiac. He did buy a 58 Bonneville convertible for one of his clients. A beautiful, beautiful car, black 58 Bonneville convertible. If you didn't see that car, it is definitely worth looking it up, just because it's such a stunning, stunning car. And obviously, I mean, I've had that 58 Chieftain for years, so I'm pretty familiar with the 58s and always have been a favorite. Mecum is back in KC, their normal weekend, the first weekend in December, which is when they typically are. They used to do 2 Mecum KCs. They've backed that down to just the one, but it is that first weekend in December. They've always had that one, with the exception of the year of COVID. Then they changed it when they could get a weekend. But Alex is here with us. But I got their website up. I can look real quick and give you the exact dates, because I was looking at some of the cars that went through this weekend. Mecum KC, November 30th through December 2nd is Mecum KC. And I am sure that we'll be going to that one as well. So, but anyway, he did get that 58 Bonneville convertible bought. Steel Ponies, Jeff's here with us. He also bought a 67 GTX convertible. He bought an LS6 Chevelle. He bought a 62 Bel Air Bubble Top 409 car. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with my friend Jim Wicks, he is basically a professional auction buyer. These guys pay him to go to look at cars at the auctions for them, handle the bidding process, make sure the cars are what they're advertised to be, and then he handles, basically, he'll look the car over, he'll send you pictures, he'll go over the details with you, he'll bid on it for you, he'll arrange the shipping, and he'll make sure the car is on the truck leaving the auction facility headed to your door. So that's basically what he does. It's not a bad gig. It's his job is to basically go to auctions, hang out, look at cars, and buy cars for people. So he had a good weekend since he got a handful of cars bought. But yeah, this 58 Bonneville convertible, 192.5. 192.5, so $175,000 hammer on this 58 Bonneville convertible that he picked up for one of his clients. So gorgeous, gorgeous car, black with a red and white interior. Definitely well worth looking up. He said there were some cracks in some of the prices at Houston. Started to see a few things kind of lighten up a little bit. That's kind of what I was seeing. Of course, when I had Barrett on early on Friday, come to find out, everything was weak, and everything looked pretty weak in that part of the sale. But he said he was starting to see a few cracks in some of the stuff, kind of maybe starting to see some signs of shifting back to reality. And I think we're going to continue to see that, but it hasn't fallen. We're just starting to see a few cracks here and there, but it hasn't fallen. Tony's here with us. I didn't see the $250,000 57 Chevy. I have to look and see what that was. So it's going to be interesting. My 78 Trans Am isn't going anywhere. I don't plan on selling that car, period. So yeah, I'm sure there were some guys that were happy that picked up some of those LS powered Chevelles in that $40,000 range, because I was kind of surprised. Of course, you can't see the cars. You're watching them on a computer screen, so looking at them, in person's a whole different deal. But you never know. I mean, you never know how well they were put together. But if they were decent cars, I mean, they were great buys. I'm sure the sellers weren't real happy, but that's one of the scary parts about it. When you go to Barrett, it's no reserve, period. End of discussion. And Mecum will let you run them with a reserve. It does at least protect you, and you can make that decision when the car's on the block if you want to lift the reserve. If you've got a car, you've got a $30,000 reserve on, and it's at Mecum, and the car gets to 26 or 28, you want to let it go. You just tell them to sell it. They'll pull the reserve and sell the car. But you've got that option. At Barrett, when it goes, it goes. When it's done, it's done. That's it. Billy Bowman's here. Yeah, it sounds like the first half of Barrett was definitely a buyer's market from what it sounds like. Because Jim said it sounded, from what he heard, it sounded pretty rough all the way through till Friday night. Friday night and Saturday, he said, were strong. But Thursday and Friday up until later in the day into Friday evening was pretty tough for sellers. Big Jobs here. So anyway, that's what I learned about Mecum, and that's what I studied about Barrett, and that's what I heard about Mecum this weekend. So that's what's great about Jim. If you haven't seen any of the Jim Wicks videos, be sure to go check them out. The guy is a wealth of Ford knowledge, and we do a lot of fun stuff with him when we are at auctions, hanging out with him, and he shares a lot of his knowledge with me and with all of us. So we have a lot of fun with Jim every time we're around him. So it's always great since he does hit most major auctions, since that's his job. It's always nice to get boots on the ground, real world feedback that I can share with you guys about what's happening at these big auctions. So anyway, that's kind of what I had for that. Now, I also wanted to get into the raffle a little bit early here too, before we get into anything else, because I wanted to shake things up and I want your guys' opinion on the raffle. So I thought we'd squeeze that in. Yep, he is a walking history book, and especially when it comes to Shelbys and Cobras. There ain't nobody knows Shelbys and Cobras like that guy does. So, and that was also some fun stuff we've done. If you guys did not catch the videos on 5R002, the $3.85 million 65 GT350R, we did a couple of videos on that car with Jim. Do a lot of fun stuff with him. So a lot of information there. In fact, I built out a whole Jim Wicks playlist on the channel, so you guys can check some of that stuff out. So Kenny's here with us. Well, you don't have to feel too tardy. I almost didn't make it. I was on the phone with Wicks. I was almost running late. So. But anyway, I've been thinking about the raffle. We got a great raffle this month, obviously. I mean, 3 people are going to get their first name out of the bucket. It's going to get the choice of the truck. Second name out of the big Buick can is going to get second choice. Third name out is going to get the last remaining truck out of these 3 trucks. So we got a great raffle going on this month. And I was kind of thinking about what else we could do. Alec from New York and New Hampshire's here. Others on Facebook. So Alec's back. Alec hasn't bought anything the last couple weeks, guys. So you guys better be careful. You have to watch out for Alec. I bet he's got both barrels loaded tonight. So, but I want your guys' opinion on the raffle. I wanted to shake it up a bit. I wanted to change it up a bit. So let's go ahead and talk about it real quick before we get into the promo model. As always, a whole bunch of stuff in my can. My can's full of stuff. My can's full of stuff. What happened to the can? What happened to the can? I'll show you in a minute. Put the can over here for now. Who's in right now? We'll go through this real quick. Who is in the raffle? It was in the big Buick oil can right now. There's no junk in this can. This whole can's full of stuff. Leo, Norma, Mark Falcon, Bill Disc, Tweedly D, Johnny Z, Michael Glagola, Zach Thompson, Kenny Peterson. That's who got in this week for the second week of the packet. Obviously, last week's Steel Ponies Jeff got in, as well as Big Job. The raffle this month, Eric, these Structo trucks, as you can see. The first, and we're giving all 3 of these away. The first name gets their first pick. Second name gets second pick. Third name gets the remaining truck. All 3 of these trucks are going at the end of the month on the 30th. Now, I wanted to make it more fun. I wanted to liven it up a little bit. And I don't know when we're going to do this, how we're going to do it, or when we're going to do it. I'll just grab the can and we'll do it maybe. But you guys tell me what you think. What happened to my can? What happened to my can? What happened to the can? My can's full of stuff. I thought it would be a lot more fun if just every now and again we just grabbed the big Buick oil can and grabbed a name out of it. And then we're just going to grab something this. We'll grab one of these. What these are toy cars, emblems, matchbooks, any kind of little. This is like $3, $5, maybe $5 or $10 stuff. We'll just grab one. We'll grab a name. We'll grab something out of here, just for the heck of it. And if you want me to open it, we'll open it. So, and then it will ship with that person's next package. Obviously, this $5 stuff, I'm not going to spend $6 to ship it, but I'll put your name on it, and your next auction box, your next raffle box, whatever it is, it will go. And by the way, Mark, I forgot to put your hubcap from the raffle in your box. I got excited today. Both your checks showed up, so I got all your stuff out, boxed it up, and then I forgot to put the hubcap in. So that's coming next time. So, okay, you guys like the ideas? Lots of positive comments on that. So let's see how it works. Let's try it. Who that? Leo. Leo is the first winner of, there's my hearts. I love my hearts. Leo is the proud owner of this piece of paper. So, do we open it? Yep, everybody wants to open. That's right. I forgot, Kenny. We got rolling here. I forgot to give you guys some badges to get things started. Yeah, that's a funny way to spell Bill's name, isn't it? Okay. The first one, the first surprise. Is a little dinky tanker truck. I don't know what brand this is. Little tanker trucks. So like I said, these aren't going to be big $20, $30 items. They're just fun little $3, $5 pieces that I figure we'll throw in there and yank a name out every now and again. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to wrap this thing back up in here. I'm going to get my marker here and a piece of tape. Mike from New Waverly, Texas is here. Nah, I don't think I'll throw that many $30 pieces in there. That might get a little pricey. So, tape this up. And we're going to write Leo on this. And then I'm going to put it in. In fact, I've just got his check yesterday, so I've got his tag to ship out anyway. So, see what you guys think. What we'll do is, and like I said, there's going to be no rhyme nor reason to it. When I look over, if I see the can, I may grab it and grab a name out of it. Some nights we may not do it at all. Some nights we may do it 2 or 3 times. We'll just see how things shake out. I think that's what's going to make it fun. I just want just to make it something different, something interesting. Numero uno made it tonight. Glad you're here, number 1, as always. Hudson badge is a little crusty. I'm going to polish it up a bit here. Can't have a dirty Hudson badge. Oh, yeah, that looks better. Nice and shiny. No, but I don't think Weston was in the raffle yet, so. Alex wants another one already. We'll catch another one here a little later in the show. How about that? We'll do one more tonight. So, Jeff, no, you didn't miss the promo. We're just getting ready to do the promo. All right. I'm glad you guys like the idea. I think it'll be fun. It'll liven it up and add to it things. Decided to light the yard on fire today. Great plan, number one. Anyway, on to the promo model. Tonight, we're going to do another Ford product. Actually, I didn't realize this till I got this one polished up and ready. We did the 60 Ford wagon last week. We're going to do another 60 Ford tonight. I didn't think about it till after I had this one rode up and done and ready to go. Doug's here with us. Although it's a little bit different of a 1960 Ford, this one is the Thunderbird. The 1960 Ford Thunderbird in a very interesting color, turquoise metallic. These were kind of called the square birds when they went to 4 passengers from 58 to 60 versus the 55 to 57 2-passenger car. They became more of a luxury sedan after, in 58, this being the 60, the last iteration of this car. More hearts. Love the hearts. This promo's in pretty decent shape. It does have some warpage, but it is pretty much intact. We look at the front of it, and it is missing one fender ornament over here. Fender ornament is still here. Bumper and everything is intact, including the corners. Same thing on the rear. Still intact. This one does have an interior in it. If you guys can see, an actual two-tone white and teal turquoise interior. All original tires, wheels, and hubcaps. On this one all the way around. Does have some warpage. We can see here as we look at the bottom that we see a little bit of warpage along the sides of the body, but not terrible considering this is, this is a 1960 promo. Obviously, on most of these promos, not a lot of detail. This is all just cast into the mold, not separate pieces on any of the driveline stuff, just to give you a basic idea. This is a Ford, however, but does not have these specifications on them. Maybe they didn't start that for a year or two after that. I'm sure Bill could clarify when they started putting information on the bottom of the Ford promos because they were pretty well known for it in the 60s. Eric said he's seen a new Bronco in that color. I kind of like this color. It is a little different. Turquoise metallic is what it looked, is what the color chip showed when I looked it up. But definitely a major departure from the baby birds as they've been come to known. Yeah, the kind of looked like they were rear-ended. They just kind of stopped right there. So, yeah, it is a nice color. It is something different. Is it a Hubley, says Jim? This one actually does not have a name on it. I'm sure that Bill could clarify that. He knows these things back and forth. Look nice to the right. Yeah, that's true, Alec. A white top against that turquoise metallic would definitely make it pop. So, let's see. That's a good point. Now, when everybody here was born in 60, they've probably got a little warpage. Yeah. Perfect. So, it's a good looking car. The color is what kind of stood out to me as definitely being a little bit different on this 1960 Thunderbird promo in turquoise metallic. And we can see a little bit of the warpage, even up in here and stuff, but overall still presents very well. So, I don't know, Bill, do you know if this is a Hubley or not? This one, I don't see the name on it, and I know you know these pretty well. I don't know if you remember who made the 60 T-Bird promos, whether it was AMT, whether it was Hubley or not. So, but anyway, good looking car, great looking color, definitely unique, definitely 60s. On the 1960, or actually kind of a carryover from the 50s, really, on this color. On the 1960 Ford Thunderbird hardtop, because they did make these in a convertible. They made convertibles in they made convertible promos as well. This is hardtops. I've got a convertible over there. I don't remember. It's a 58 to 60, but I don't remember if it was a 60 or not in a convertible promo as well. So, Mike, mine's the same color with turquoise interior. Sweet. It's cool. The 60 T-Bird had a sunroof option. I haven't seen one of those. 62 is when they started putting the information on the bottom of them. So, perfect. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate that. So, anyway, neat car. Glad you guys liked it. And good looking color on the turquoise metallic 1960 Ford Thunderbird promo model. On to the badges. We'll give you a Hudson badge. Keep things rolling here. Post Serial Toy T-Birds. I don't think I do. But on to some badges and ornaments. AMT, says Bill. Okay. As always, we'll do a pre-war badge. Then we'll get into a post-war badge. And actually, we're going to do a hood ornament tonight for post-war. So that's always exciting as well. We'll start off with the early badge, 1922 to 1926 on this era. After Billy Durant had been basically kicked out of GM twice, he started his own company called, you guessed it, Durant. Billy Durant had, his name was all over the car industry in basically from its beginnings up into the 20s. I mean, it was heavily involved not only with GM, but in the development of GM, helped put it together. And, he would been there twice, was kicked out twice. In 1921, he set up Durant Motors, obviously named after himself. The first one in 1921 was a 4-cylinder and a 70 horsepower 6-cylinder model, joined the line in 1922. In 1922, they made 22,000 Durants. Billy, in 22, they also introduced the Star. We've had some Star badges on here before. That was a division of Durant. In 1923, the 6-cylinder Durant was dropped because of poor sales, and only 4 cylinders were available through 1925. 1926 and 27, Durant stopped production altogether. For 1928, there was an entirely new Durant lineup, starting with 3 6s and a new 4 for 29. The Durant was nothing special, just a real good car. It was the slogan, and sales were not spectacular. When the stock market crashed, the Durant was hit hard, and sales fell quickly. It was all over for Durant by 1932, with Billy Durant declaring personal bankruptcy in 1936. So kind of crazy to think about that. Literally the guy that helped put GM together started his own car company, and by 1936, he was bankrupt. So, sometimes that happens when some of those guys roll big time and things don't work out. So kind of a sad story, but lots of comments about the badge. It is a great badge. It does have great colors. This particular badge does have some chipping in it right here. This actually, it's kind of tough to see. This is actually like a gargoyle or like some sort of an animal like that. Some sort of a dragon, gargoyle, something like that. I can't really tell. It's a decent size badge compared to some of these. Some of these badges we look at are pretty small. This one is 2.5 inches high. So it's 2.5 inches tall. So it is a little bit bigger than some of these we typically look at, and 1 3/4 inches wide. Now, we look at the back of this. What's kind of cool about this, this was a pressed on with a button type like that held them to the radiator badge. I don't think I've got more than one of these. I'd have to look again, but I've only seen one. But on the back of this one, it did have the button back here that would have pressed it to the radiator shell. But one thing that's really cool about this one is we look at the back of this one, we can actually see the casting of the design on the back prior to them. We see the design back here, and then, of course, they enameled the front of it. But we can actually see the design cast into the back of it. So I thought that was pretty cool. Sam's here with us. So kind of a neat piece, a little bit bigger than some of these other ones that we typically see, but great colors, obviously. The light blue, the dark red, the gargoyle, the dragon, whatever it is against the white background. And it has little red, I don't know what these are, flags, footprints. I don't know what those are, red down there. So, yeah, I figured you were going for AMT on that, Bill. I just wouldn't let him put the T on there, so. So kind of a cool piece. On the Durant from Billy Durant after he was removed from GM twice. He started his own company, and that's what the badge was. Here's an Auburn badge, too, to think about. Now, as always, we go post-war after that. Yeah. A little bit of meat to this piece. But it's a hood ornament, and it's a great hood ornament because hood ornaments are awesome because they are. Check this one out. Coming right at you. Look at that. We'll get both cameras straight on. Leo made it. Hey, Leo, guess what? You're a winner. You missed all the excitement, but you won. That's right, Ryan and Amy got it right off the gate. It is a Studebaker. This hood ornament was used on cars like 46, 7, 8 cars, and as well as trucks. With like the 4950, they did transfer this hood ornament to trucks as well. This hood ornament is not broken or chipped or anything like that, but the chrome is thin on it. You can see a lot of thin spots in the chrome and a little bit of pitting, but still has a great look. If you're building a patina truck, this thing would have an awesome look to it. But like I said, they use these on cars in the late 40s and then trucks late 40s on into the early 50s. So we barely got past World War II on our post-war ornament tonight. This is a pretty front-heavy piece, as you can tell. Crack somebody upside the head with that. John made it. Almost looks like a mortar shell. Mortar around. Pete's trying to bid on it. Brian says he's about 15 seconds behind, so we'll remind everybody to refresh here in a little bit when we start the auctions. Our rocket, yeah, it does kind of look like a rocket, Alec. Ryan and Amy look down their hood and see one every weekend. So that's right. Could be carry the Olympic torch. True. Gray Kitty motivator. Yep. It's about 14 inches long, so it's a statement piece. And across the circle, it's about not quite 2.5 in diameter across the circle. So it's a cool piece. These are great looking ornaments. And, you know, kind of like the Buick bomb sight, a lot of these hood ornaments helped make the front end design on a lot of these cars. Yep, right upside the head. Yeah, I need extra springs to hold the hood ornament up. But it's a good looking piece. I've always loved these Studebaker hood ornaments. This one, obviously, you know, like I said, yeah, some age and some wear, but it's not busted up. It still looks cool. Look, coming right at you. Boom. I got 2 cameras. I got to get both cameras. Want the guys on Facebook to get the full effect as well. But that's what we've got for tonight. Hadn't done a hood ornament in a while, so I thought we'd mix that in with the badges. Yep, torpedo. With the Durant as well as the hood ornament off of the late 40s, early 50s era Studebakers. It'll leave more than a welt, too. You can poke your eye out with this end. This end is just kind of blunt force trauma. Jim's digging it as well. So there we go. What a pair for tonight. The Durant as well as the Studebaker. All right. Time for the new segment tonight. Yeah, that's right. It is kind of the smaller version of the bullet nose. That kind of is what it amounts to. Rusty nails that fit on the front fender of his Harley. But the new segment that we just started last week at your guys' request, story time. Story time is the moment where I do some looking through some old scrapbooks or through old boxes of pictures. I pick out a car that Dad or I found over the last 50 years and tell you a little bit about it. We started last week with the one, since last week was the first one, literally the first time we did story time. Joe's going to get his milk and cookies out. There you go. Since last week was the first story time, we started with the car that started everything. Dad's first 57 Chevy that he built when he was 14, 15 years old. And we're going to mix it up a little bit. Like I said, I've got this big scrapbook full of pictures. I've got boxes of pictures. Obviously, you know, Dad's been doing this since the 60s. I've been doing it my whole life. So we have stumbled across a lot of cool cars over the years and owned a lot of cool cars and still have a very extensive collection. So, you know, all kinds of cool stuff to talk about. I'm just randomly grabbing something that looks interesting and we're going to talk about it. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And Dad may have some more insight on this one because I'm a little bit rusty on this one, but this was such a weird car. especially to find a shelter belt in north central Kansas. I think Dad found this in the early 90s. And it's definitely not something that you stop at a farmer's, when you stop at a farmer's place to look at some old cars and in the middle of Kansas and find a very, very rough 1953 Jaguar XK120 drop head coupe sitting in the shelter belt. But that's what it was. It was rough. It had been on fire, and they had shoved it out in the trees after the fire, and that's where it sat. However, believe it or not, the car still had a lot of good parts on it. Like I said, this was probably 30 years ago. So don't get your hopes up before I show you the pictures of it, but because it was rough. I do still have these in the scrapbook page because if I took them out, I was afraid I wouldn't get them back in. So please let me know if the glare is too much. I did test these when I did camera checks earlier. I did test it, and there is some glare, but I think you guys will be able to make it out. A collector's murder for those cars. Yeah, this one was pretty rough, but it was still interesting to find one of these in a shelter belt in north central Kansas. There it is. Like I said, it was pretty bad, but there again, you guys are always asking about what's the weird stuff that we found. A 53 Jaguar XK120 drop head coupe was definitely kind of different. Now, for as bad as this car looks, there were a lot of parts left on it. You guys can see all the top stuff was still here. The taillights were still there. A lot of the door parts were there. This being a drop head coupe, it did have windows. So a lot of the window and door hardware was there. So there was actually a lot of pieces there, even though it doesn't look like a heck of a lot. The 39 Cadillac's up and going and ready to go. We need to do another full video on it now that it's done. Dad said he gave $100 for it. So, and like I said, believe it or not, there were actually a lot more parts there than what it looked like. So, but there again, still $100 for a 53 Jag wasn't a bad deal. And he just sold it just the way it was, I'm sure, to somebody that was restoring one and needed parts. Because there again, you just don't stumble on a 53 Jaguar parts car sitting around anywhere. So, yeah, it was definitely hot. You can see the, I almost said hood, but this is a Jaguar. So the bonnet, you can see where the bonnet was melted some right here from the fire damage. So, kind of an interesting car. Now, you can see this is in the wintertime. There's obviously snow on the ground. And like I said, I think this was probably about 30 years ago in the early 90s. And look right here in the background. Look what's out there doing the work. There's the old Chevy tow truck. Sitting out in the elements. That's what we used. I mean, it was a workhorse back in the day. Obviously, it's next door in the new building now, you know, where it's living the retired life. But 30 years ago, that old 50 Chevy tow truck was still out there working. We were still working it every weekend. So yeah, he's tried to get, he can't make his YouTube work. The guy had the motor and tranny in the garage, but he wanted at the time he wanted $350 for the motor and tranny. So Dad didn't buy the motor and tranny. He just bought the car for $100, which in today's world sounds crazy, but you know, 30 years ago, that was a whole different story. So that's what we got for story time tonight. Just put it on the car trailer. I don't remember if the guy had a tractor or how he loaded it, but we just hauled everything on a car trailer is what we did back then. Still do, actually. So the 1953 Jaguar XK120 drop head coupe out of the shelter belt in north central Kansas. Kind of a weird find. So that's what we've got for tonight for story time. And I hope you guys can make the pictures out. I hope the glare isn't too bad because these pictures have been in here for a long time, and I don't think they'll re-stick if I take them out. So, it went to New York is where it went. Oh, and he had a title for it. So that's what the guy mainly wanted was the title and tags, but you know, obviously he couldn't sell him that. He told me he had to buy the car to get it. So, but yeah, Michael, that old tow truck, actually Dad sold it and then I bought it back, but it's right next door. We need to get, I need to do a full video on it. So Jim says it looks good. Pete says it looks good. So now the engine was not in it. The guy had pulled the engine out and had it in storage. So, yeah, it was just basically sold for parts. Alex loves it. Yeah, those XK120s and XK140s are really, really good looking cars. There's no doubt about it. Scott, it was probably tougher to sell cars like that back then without platform. And that's true. Yeah, I mean, back then you put it in Hemmings. I'm sure he put it in Hemmings I'm sure that's what he did with it. So that's what we got for story time tonight. The 53 Jag. So there we've done the 57 Chevy, the 53 Jag. Oh, and then what started it all, the 44 Shine Run and Coupe. So I hope you guys are digging this stuff. If you're not, tell me. We can take it out just as easy as we put it back in. If you guys keep liking it, I'll grab a couple of pictures of something else next week and we'll keep rolling with it. Like I said, this is all about what you guys want to do. That's why this is a chat. It's about what you guys want to happen. Excuse me. Yeah, the chrome around the headlights look good. Yeah, there was a lot of good pieces. No doubt about it. And everybody likes story time. Okay. We'll keep doing her. You guys are obviously excited about story time. We got hearts flying up everywhere. Mikey even likes it on Facebook. So I guess we like story time. So we'll keep rolling with it. All right. I guess if we're done with story time, that means it's auction time. And we got a massive pile of auction stuff here. In fact, let me kind of reshuffle some things here. Get ready to roll. All right. Eric couldn't sell the parts or cars. He'd just be a hoarder. So great stories and great cars. Nothing better. So Mikey says on Facebook, it says Michael Gogola said Mikey like it. So I guess that's good. Different aspect of talking cars, that's for sure, Alex. So, but anyway, where do we start? Holy cow, we got so much stuff in here. It's crazy. I do want to do some different things on auctions. I'm going to throw some stuff at you guys here in a little bit, but as always, details and rules, full dollar increments on bids. I'll hold up an item. We'll look at it. We'll talk about it. We'll look at the condition. I'll point out any flaws. We'll give you some dimensions on it. We'll talk about that particular vehicle in time. And then we will get ready to start selling it. At any point in time, if you're interested, please throw a bid up there, even if it's $5 or $10, just so I know that we've got interest in the piece. Occasionally, I'll hold something up that nobody really gets too excited about. We usually have, I try to find stuff that I think you guys are going to dig, but at least if you guys throw something up there for a bid, then I know we've got some interest in it as we're doing the description. After we get done with the description, as always, we give 2 minutes. I will put you on a timer on my cell phone right here, and we will go 2 minutes on that piece. I will tell you when 1 minute has passed. I'll tell you when a minute 30 seconds has passed. And please remember, when I tell you that minute 30 seconds has passed, we may be about at the end, depending on your delay. Everybody has a delay depending on whether you are on a tablet, phone, PC, laptop, and your internet provider all affects that. So Big Job says, call it a blast from nobody's past. We could do that too. So we'll be taking along here on the timer on the piece as we're looking at it, talking about it, and watching for bids. When I tell you a minute 30's passed, if you're serious about it, it's time to jump in and hit it hard, because some of these guys are really, really good. Some of these guys get their delay figured out pretty quick, and Pete got a couple of them in the 156 to 158 window last time. Eloy got a couple in the same window, but Eloy had a couple of them that come in at 202 as well. There's the 1 minute mark. I will announce when the 1 minute mark has passed. So once you guys kind of figure that out, in the first few items, I will read all of the bids as they pop up, so you guys can kind of figure out what I'm seeing versus what you're seeing and try to figure out your delays. So we know Alec is loaded for bear tonight. I think he's got both barrels loaded after getting skunked the last couple weeks. Eloy and Pete, in fact, if you guys weren't with us last week, Pete actually got accused of dating someone with YouTube. So he had like a 10-second delay. I mean, where he got, after he hit 2 or 3 of them in that between 155 and 2 minute mark. So Kenny says his flip phone is only a 30-second delay. So Anyway, Mark got his 50 caliber set up and loaded. And most of these things, in fact, everything tonight, shipping will be included. We don't have any big items tonight. I've got a couple bigger things we need to drag out here, see if you guys are interested in them. That will have shipping tonight. Shipping will be included unless you are a non-U.S. buyer. This thing kind of feeds itself. As you guys buy stuff, I use that money, buy more cool stuff, and we keep this cycle going. But if we end up spending several $100s on overseas shipments, that kind of blows it out of the water for everybody. Non-U.S. bidders, you're more than welcome to play along. And but you will have to pay me probably by a wire, which is about a $35 fee, and then you would have non-U.S. shipping. Payment, check, money order, Western Union, PayPal, friends and family, any of those work great for me. I know some of you guys like to buy for 2 weeks and then send a check. That's perfectly fine. It's not a problem. Everything's been going pretty smooth here as of late. So, and as always, if you have a question, just call me tomorrow. If you bid on something and you end up buying it and you're still not sure how to do it, call me tomorrow. It's not a big deal. I'll walk you through whatever we need to do. So we will definitely work with whatever we have to make it happen. I found a ton of cool stuff the last couple weeks. Had an auction Thursday. I got stuff. My buddy that always goes out and picks stuff and does a lot of furniture and glassware type stuff. He found some stuff, got several boxes for him. Got some of that stuff loaded up in here tonight. Haven't even gotten into most of it yet. But a lot of cool stuff. I don't even know where to start, actually. Oh, one other thing I'm going to try to do. I know license plates are always a big hit. I know a lot of you guys like license plates. They're great. They're easy to display. They're colorful. They tell a story. But a lot of them bring really, really good money, especially the super nice ones. I've got a couple of them, and we're going to try one or two of these tonight, where I took 2 fair license plates, and we're going to sell them together. Obviously, I can't sell a $10 plate and then spend $8 or $10 to ship it. So I've got, I'm going to try to keep an eye out for maybe a couple of these plates that are $10 or $15 plates and put 2 of them together. And that way, maybe that will open up the door for some of these other guys, and I can still afford to ship them. Of course, some of you guys, if they're the right number or the right color, it may not matter, but they may want them anyway. Norma's here with us. Been running from auction to auction this weekend. Well, that's a pretty good excuse to be late, Norma. So we'll try some of that as well. So we'll get ready to go ahead and get rolling. Next time I stumble onto a yard sale, auction, estate, go live. Well, we can do that. So yeah, we can do some lives on some of that stuff for sure. If it's something you guys are interested in, we can sure try to do a live on some of those. But let's get rolling. Hit refresh, everybody. Make sure you hit refresh. Make sure you're current and ready to go. And let's start with something. Holy cow, I don't even know where to start. There's so much cool stuff. How about we start off with a pair of cans? We'll do a pair of cans. They're kind of average condition cans, so we'll do them together. Quart cans. The first one, this is a composite cardboard can, but it's kind of different. It's one of those that's almost kind of generic. It's national, the national special. That's all it says. Green and white, red stars, a red banner with silver stars. The National Motor Oil Special. Kansas City Can, Interstate Oil Company. You all know I inherited Dad's internal GPS for deals on junk there. Yeah, maybe so. This was punched on the bottom, so it is drained on the bottom. It is a composite can, but something kind of different. I don't know that I've ever seen one of these before. Going with this one, it is a regular size quart. Was it a department store brand? I'm kind of wondering. It says Interstate Oil Kansas City on the back. So I don't know if this was like a department store oil or what. I'm not familiar with it. I've got 2 or 3 of these. So I'm going to keep one, but I don't know much about it. It might be kind of a rare can. I don't know. And going with it is a Shell X100 motor oil quart. This is a little bit rougher. It is painted. It is a steel painted can. The top has been cut out and it does have rust in it. But the front of it is a good looking patina type can. But it is a steel can. Obviously, it's got plenty of rust on it. It is an original steel Shell X100 motor oil can. Alec at 10 is kicking us off on Facebook. On the pair, you're getting them both. I've got Alec at 10 on Facebook. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Johnny Z at 20. Like I said, I will try to read bids immediately on the first few items to kind of get so you guys can get an idea where things are at. I've got Johnny Z at 20. Dennis Chapman at 22. Alec at 25. Leo at 26. And there's the 1 minute mark. So we are halfway through this one, and I've got Leo at 26. And there's the minute 20 mark. Leo at 26. On the pair, you're getting them both for one money. Alec at 30. And there's the minute 30 mark. A minute 30's past Alec at 30. $20 seconds left to go. Coming out of the wire on this one, I've got Alec at 30. And that does it. Alec gets the first one tonight at 30 on the pair of cans. All right, thanks, Kenny. Hit the thumbs up. Oh man, there's just like I said, I got everything loaded for Bear tonight. I don't even know what else we want to go where to go next. Oh, I know what we got to do. Who was on Toy Tuesday with us last week? Who remembers Toy Tuesday? Let's think about that for a minute while I look through some more stuff here. This is the problem. I got so much stuff in here, I don't even know where to start right now. Mark was with us. Who remembers what we did on there? I'll give you a husband badge to help with your memory. Who remembers the cans that we checked out? Gray Kitty is over there sleeping. She's out like a light. Yeah, the 65 showroom poster. Yep, not that, but the cans. Well, with that XL can, I had something kind of cool that went with it. Boom. Who liked these? Yep. These are duplicates. We're going to sell these. What do you think of that? These things are gorgeous. The XL motor oil with the factory picture on the back. And then this one just says everlasting lubricant, quality everlasting lubricant. Pete's starting us off at 5. These are fairly decent sized matchbooks. Mark at 8. These are about 3 3/4 by 3. So these are decent sized matchbooks. You're going to get both of them. Mark at 8. Let's get it on the timer. Let's roll with it. Alex at 10. I've got some killer matchbooks I came up with besides these two. So We're going to hold these up. Alex at 10, Kenny at 10. I had Alex first at 10. We are live on the timer. Mark at 12. Dennis at 15. And we've hit the 1 minute mark, just past the 1 minute mark. Dennis at 15 on the pair. These things are super cool and super hard to find. And there's the minute 20 mark. Mark at 17. And there's the minute 30. 30 seconds left. $20 seconds to go. Mark at 17. Factory picture on the back. Mark at 17, just about coming down to the wire on this. Less than 10 seconds to go. Mark at 17. And that does it. Mark at 17. Then Dennis at 20 and Mark at 21. But they didn't get to me in time, unfortunately for me. Fortunately for Mark, but unfortunately for me because it cost me a few bucks. But Mark at 17 is who I had at the end. So. Let's try one of these plate bundles. 2 plates, 1 money. These are more your average type stuff. But like I said, sometimes if some people like a color or a number, it may not matter. But these are a little bit rougher, so we're going to sell them together. The first one is a 1972 3-digit 259. Now this one we can see is bent up a little bit. It's got some paint loss. You see, it is bent up a little bit. So this is a little bit rougher one. And then this 68 truck has some rust and some damage down here at the bottom. But this would have been a really nice plate if it wasn't for this big whammo right down here, dead smack center on the bottom of this plate. Otherwise, that would have been a great looking plate. Just unfortunately, something just pounded the bottom of this thing and actually damaged and tore the metal. So Alec at 13, but I've already got Eric at 25 on YouTube. So Eric at 25. We're going to sell the pair of them. Yeah, it was some sort of a hitch or something, I'm sure is what did that. Let's get it on the timer. And like I said, we'll sell the pair together since these are a little bit rougher. But there again, they still got good color. They still present well. So we'll see what you guys think. I've got Eric at 25 on the pair. Alec at 30. We got Alec at 30. You're getting both of them. One minute has passed. We have hit the 1 minute mark. Now, they're not, these were out of that big batch I bought. A lot of them were in envelopes. These obviously were not stored quite as well as some of the other ones, but they've been inside since they were taken off. So fortunately, we're still fairly well protected, just not quite as good as some of those other ones were. Minute 20s left. I've still got a couple of them in envelopes, but just a few left. So Alec at 30. And there's the minute 30 mark. 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. Alec at 30. 20 seconds left to go. Michael at 31 on Facebook. And that did it. Michael's 31 got it. Oh, let's slide a cap in here. I got a whole box of caps too ready. This is a sharp one, and I did repaint the red on this one. Time for some Auburn badge. This is another little Oldsmobile, but I don't think we've done one like this. I think this is early 60s, maybe into the probably 62, 3, 4 era on this little dog dish Oldsmobile. Stainless cap, does have a few little dings and dents. I did repaint the red. The black is original, but a pretty sharp looking little cap. Kind of different. Obviously, we've got the reds, the Oldsmobile symbol here. I did repaint this red. All these serrations around here, those are black. The black is original. Super nice shiny cap. A few dings and dents. Backside's pretty clean. Instead of a box of cats, no. I got enough cats. I don't need a whole other box of cats. Oldsmobile cap is 10.5 in diameter. This is all stamped into the stainless. These ribs are all stamped in it. We can see it all on the back. So kind of different, kind of a sharp looking cap. Alex starting us off at 10 on the little Oldsmobile cap. Mark at 10 here. I already had Alec in first. So I've got Alec at 10 starting it off. We are on the timer. Mark 15. It's Oldsmobile of some sort, 62, 3, 4 era Oldsmobile. Mark at 15. And there's our 1 minute mark. We've hit the 1 minute mark. I've got Mark at 15. Kevin at 20. And there's the minute 20 mark. I've got Kevin at 20. And minute 30 has now passed. Kevin at 20 is the high bidder. $20 seconds left to go. Turn that a quarter turn, looks like a Lincoln. 10 seconds left. Mark at 22. And that does it. Mark at 22. Kevin almost had it, but Mark snuck in there right at the end at 22. More hearts in the party favors coming up. That's always cool. All right. Let's see. How about something for our Ford fans? How about a Ford badge bundle? I get the tape off of it. Did too good a job of taping this thing up. Can't get it back off. There we go. Party favors, hearts. We got all kinds of stuff going on. It's like a river. Some happy faces. Sweet. All right. Ford badges. Ford truck badges, to be more specific. Starting off with the F-350 Custom 70s era on this particular piece. Five and 3/4 by 1 3/4 inch. 5 3/4, 1 3/4 was stud mount, but there's only one stud left. It is pretty flat, though, so you can put double-sided tape on it and stick it somewhere. F-250, a little bit earlier than this, early 70s. Just before this badge on this F-250 front fender also. Stud mount, pop metal emblem. These are both metal, both original metal pieces. The F-250 is about 4 1/4 by about 2 1/8. Steel Ponies Jeff at 10. So both of those, as well as one more piece. But wait, there's more. There's a front hood badge for a mid-60s era Ford truck. This is the one that was loud and proud right out in front. Had the gear with the lightning bolt, which is a cool symbol that Ford used on trucks for a lot of years. Check out the chrome on that one. You can read my keyboard right there. Back of it's pretty clean. This is a little bit bigger. This is 7 7/8 wide and about 4 inches tall. So this is almost 8 inches and 4 inches. Rusty Nails 63. Or you said it says 63. I think you meant 63 the year. Is that what you're saying? Because they use this in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or is that a bid, Rusty Nails? Just let me know for sure when you throw that number up there. I'm not sure where we're going. I know I've got Jeff at 10, but let me know, Rusty Nails, where you're at on that. That's the year. Okay. Yeah, just you throw a number up there. When I'm looking for bids, it throws me off. But yeah, they used this for those several years in the mid-60s. Mark at 15. Let's get this thing going on the timer. You're getting all 3 badges, 1 money for Ford trucks. Steel Ponies Jeff at 20. 61 to 66 6-cylinder truck. Now, 59 and 60, I know are different. I know it's just 61 to 66. So, Steel Ponies Jeff at 20. All 3 badges, 1-shot deal. And there's our 1-minute mark. And minute 20's passed. Alex at 22. These are heavy. They're all metal. Minute 30's passed. 30 seconds left to go. Then I can sit them down. Thankfully. Alex at 22. All 3 of them. 1-shot deal. Big Job at 35. Just about coming down to the wire. There's a few seconds left. Big Job at 35. Big Job covered himself at 36, and that got it. Big Job must have got nervous. Big Job at 36. He threw another dollar on there just to make sure. Now there's another bid in there that I don't see, which is possible. Big Job at 36. At least Big Job was bidding on Ford stuff there. There's been a few times Big Job bought some Chevy stuff for gifts for some other people. That threw everybody off when he started bidding on Chevy stuff. But I think it helped him a couple times. I think some people was kind of so flabbergasted that they didn't know what to do and forgot the bid. So Tim Speed Shop's here. Oh, something else I was going to ask you guys. Anybody like maps? Do we like maps? I like maps. I don't know if you guys like maps or not. Yeah, Mark said it blew his mind. I think it was to his benefit the first couple times. So I have come across some more cool maps. I was going to throw these at you. Norma says yes. So we'll do a few of these and see what you guys think of those. Shell with obviously the big Shell logo on it. This is Arizona. I don't think there was a year on it. It is definitely obviously early. But kind of crazy to think how important maps used to be, and now it's all on our phone, and people don't even hardly use them anymore. I still like to carry an atlas with me because I don't trust GPS all the time. If it don't make sense, I look it up. So we've got the Shell Arizona. We've got a Chevron RPM California. This one actually has a, if you look at the picture, this one is early based on the picture. Look at the picture with the service station attendant wearing a cap and this open fendered car, like 30s era. And we're going to do one more Shell Washington, D.C. with this group. Steel Ponies Jeff start us off at 10 on all three maps, 2 Shells, 1 Chevron RPM on all of them. Steel Ponies Jeff at 10. Let's go ahead and roll with this. Yeah, back when they cleaned your windshield and checked your oil. And that's where they're checking tires literally in that picture. Alex at 20. Kevin at 25. Jeff at 25 also, but I got Kevin first at 25. Steel Ponies Jeff, 26. Tim Speed Shop says they've still got a service station that will pump your gas and check your oil. We've got 1 or 2 that will still do it on like 1 pump. Most of the pumps are self-service, but they've still got one that's full service. Kevin at 30. 1 minute has passed. Yeah, maps are great when you're lost, Kenny. They definitely come in handy then. Kevin at 30. All 3 of them, one-shot deal. They have 2 hole pumps. And there's the 1 minute, 30 second mark. Minute 30 has passed. Oh, come back here. Kevin at 30. Coming out of the wire, 10 seconds left. And that does it. Kevin at 30. I think that's your first win, isn't it, Kevin? It is. Okay, perfect. If you got any questions about anything, Kevin, just give me a shout tomorrow. Otherwise, friends, family, check, money order, whatever, all that information is in the description part of the video. Or, like I said, give you a shout if you're not sure about how to do some of it. No big deal. More hearts. Sweet. Hearts and party favors. Sweet. Dino Sausage made it. Yeah, yep. We're just part way through the auction, so you're doing good now. Let's see. I need to get some more of this stuff off my desk. What was that? Guess what? This is an extra. Yep. Pete's right back in there at 40. That's what he threw up there earlier was $40. So I said, obviously still in. Ryan and Amy are at 40. It's a cool piece. We talked about it earlier. Late 40s there, Studebaker car, Studebaker truck up into the early 50s. I'll give you the dimensions on it real quick. It is fairly heavy, obviously. About 14 inches long. Ryan and Amy already know that. They got one on their truck. But cool piece. Like I said, this does have thin chrome. It is not real shiny. A lot of the chrome is actually worn off a few pits. It is not broken or chipped or anything like that. Tons of bids. Yeah. Eric says this is going to get bloody. Yeah, there's tons of bids already. We haven't even got started. Let me get caught up on bids here real quick. Mark at 70. So let's go. There's the timer. We're on the timer. Mark at 70. So we're ticking away. We are live on the timer. Mark at 70 once I sorted through all the bids. Alec at 55 on Facebook and a whole slug of them on YouTube, all at that point. So better watch out and be careful with this thing back here. Kind of hold it like this over here. Alec at 85. Yeah, it'd be great on a rat rod. Alec at 85 on Facebook. Amy at 90. 1 minute's passed. We're on the backside of this. Ryan and Amy at 90. And there's the minute 20 mark. Minute 30 has now passed. We're coming down to the wire. I've got Ryan and Amy at 90. 20 seconds left to go. Down to the last few seconds. Ryan and Amy at 90. Big job, 101. And that does it. Woo, that was a 158 shot. Kevin coming at 95. Pete at 102. Big job at 101 is who we had at the 2 minute mark. You guys forgot Big Job likes hood ornaments that are rocket and plane shaped. He snagged a few before, and he just sat there minding his own business. And then, boom. Big job. Come in there. Direct hit. Cool piece. Hudson badge. That's right. Don't trust the quiet ones. Okay. If there's one thing Big Job likes as much as Ford badges, it's airplane and rocket hood ornaments. I think we're learning that. So, what haven't we done in a minute here? Let's get into some more license plates. We did some of those kind of average ones. Let's do a little bit better one. Actually, let's do something kind of special on license plates. Alex wants an old badge. Yeah, we got a few of those in here. Get one of those worked in. But this is a special set of plates. This is pretty cool, actually. 66 Oklahoma. I do not have any Oklahomas. Everything I've got tonight is Kansas. Two of them. In the envelopes. Not the original envelopes. I think we sold the last one of those. Nope, don't have a GMC 100 hood ornament or hood insert, no. So, what's so special about these? You ask. Jaws theme, yeah. Like I said, these are not the original envelopes. I found these were in envelopes, and the condition reflects that. This is a 1966, look at that thing, Kansas. Look at the gloss on this thing. It's crazy. It's off the rails. It's like a mirror. Eric's already saying another bloodbath coming. You haven't even seen the second plate yet. Look at the back of this thing. It is used. It did have screws on it, but not for very long. I mean, I think that we can give this the timer test. Yeah, look at that. You see all the zeros right there, plain as day. I don't know if you can see them on Facebook there, but Alex is at 50 and he ain't even seen the other plate yet. So, 1966, 1319 in outstanding, absolutely outstanding condition. Leo at 51. You guys want to see the other plate or not? Or are we just going to go with it or what? 1319, 1966. $13.20, 1966, and basically this one has a slight bow to it, but otherwise basically same condition. I mean, reading the numbers in the friggin' paint condition. Alex at 60. Charlie's back. Yep. Kevin at 75. 1966, almost like brand new, consecutive numbered. Look at the finish on these things. He's shaving this dude. He's shaving these things. No, they are going as a pair. They've been together for 57 years. I think we'll leave them together to go to another collection and hang in somebody's shop. So Leo at 70, Mark at 85, Leo at 76. I've already got Mark at 85. You're going to get both of them. They are not the correct envelopes. These are actually, they're both 1967 envelopes. So these were put on in 66. When the 67 tags came in, these were taken off, put back in these envelopes in 1967, and they've been in them for 57 years together in one box. So pretty cool set. That's why I want to sell them together. I want to keep them together. Shoot, even look at the 67 envelopes. The envelopes are consecutive numbers. I just noticed that. 1735, 1736. That's what I thought, 1320. That's exactly what I thought of. Number one was Rag Racing. So these came off of two vehicles, were replaced with these two plates, which are consecutive number envelopes. These were put in the envelopes in 1967 until I dug them out of the box a few weeks ago. So, pretty cool deal. Where are we at here? Leo at 86 is my high bid. Let's get this on the timer. Leo at 86. You're getting the pair consecutive numbered, keeping them together with incorrect but consecutive numbered envelopes. For as crazy as that sounds. All right. Quite a pair. I mean, just look at the finish in these things. It's crazy. You can literally see see if I can get the angle of the dangle right. You guys see that red dot? That's the red dot on my webcams. Leo at 86. There's the 1 minute mark. Mark at 88. Be careful with these so I don't drag them across each other and scuff them up. Yeah, I know. You can literally, they're that good. I mean, the reflection is just off the charts. 120 has passed. And there's the minute 30 mark. Kevin at 107. The minute 30 mark is passed. Norma at 125. The pair consecutive numbered. The pair of incorrect, you bet consecutively numbered envelopes. Kevin at 139. 20 seconds left to go. Norma 150. 10 seconds left. Norma at 150. Kevin 155. And that does it. Kevin at 155. Norma came back at 160, just a few seconds too late. But still, it's a pretty cool deal. I mean, just the condition, consecutive numbers, been together for 57. Actually, been together for 57 years. Got put in the replacement envelopes in 1967, and till I pulled them out of the box. So, Kevin at 155. All right. That was fun. But they were just so cool. Joe was watching on his phone in the kitchen. He was jumping up and down while these things were selling. But that's what makes it fun. That's the whole purpose of it. Well, that's what I thought, Alex. I mean, they've been together so long, they need to go into a collection and stay together. They were sold new together in 66. They were put away together in 67. They just need to stay together. They need to be now in Kevin's collection, hanging in his shop or in his man cave. He's got a pair of 25 California plates consecutive. It's just neat finding that stuff. So excited for you. Thanks for playing, Kevin. Glad you're hanging out with us and jumping in and having some fun. So, okay. Whew. What do we follow that up with? I guess we ain't done a cap in a little bit. How about a cap, guys? What's the next one in the cap box? That one, whatever it is, Nash. How about a Nash cap? This is a little different. We've done some Nashes before, but they've been the bigger, blockier Nash. I think this is earlier. It's a real narrow, fine Nash. I did repaint the Nash letters in this one. Obviously, dings and dents, things like that in it. This is a steel-backed cap with a chrome cap over it. No, the cat box is over there. I did not grab into the cat box blindfolded, or did not do that. So this is kind of a little bit different. Like I said, we've done some Nash caps before, but they were a little bit different style. So this is kind of a script, almost like a cursive. The ones we've done in the past were a big, wide block letter. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this is an earlier cap than what the other ones we've done in the past are. Weston have a pair of 46 Kansas truck plates consecutive. Going to put one on a 46 pickup and one on a 46 grain truck. Sounds like a good plan. Eric, start us off at 30. Let me give you the dimensions on this thing, and then we will get going on it. Yep, it does look like a Chinese walk. It is a 10-inch cap across the back. Red, I did repaint the red. Dings, dents, but there again, it's telling its story, but it's still cool, and it's a little bit different cap. Or a walk, if Leo wants to cook in it. Let's get this thing live on the timer. I've got Eric at 30. All right, we are live. We are cooking. Literally, Leo literally wants to cook in it, so... I haven't seen Rico and Jess on here tonight, so... Swepline 5027's a newbie here. Well, thanks for stopping by. 1 minute has passed. We're just past the 1 minute mark. Let's welcome Swepline 5027. Must be a Dodge guy. 120 has passed. Eric at 30. Everybody let Eric have this one at 30. It's a cool looking cap. 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed. Alex at 35. 20 seconds left to go. Yep, I was right. Swepline's a Dodge truck guy. 10 seconds left. Yep, Charlie, I think this is your first episode, Charlie. I've seen you got on right away tonight, but just about done. Alex at 35, Eric at 36, and that does it. Eric slid that back in at about the 158 mark. Eric at 36. Let's do a few more matchbooks. I got some great matchbooks. I got some, you guys wait till we get into some of the matchbooks I found on Toy Tuesday, but I got some more that we're going to sell. Let's do some trucking ones. How about a Hudson badge? We ain't done any of these badges in a while. I'm kind of slipping on you guys. Truckers. Jack Rudy and Sons truck line. Looks like, I don't know what it is. Probably 50s or 60s era truck. Kenny's ready to keep on trucking. The next one from Freightways Inc., General Offices, Wichita, Kansas, Oklahoma City, Chicago, St. Louis, Topeka, Liberal, Hutch, Enid, Dodge, and Salina. Freightways Inc., probably a 50s era. And it has their map of their territory on the back. So these have both been pretty cool. Yes, these are both paper matchbook covers. Good looking rigs on both of these. And this next one from the East Texas Motor Freight. This thing is killer. Direct service to all points. East Texas Motor Freight, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Beaumont, Texarkana, Shreveport, Little Rock, Memphis, St. Louis, Peoria, Chicago. This has got to be 30s because check this thing out. Oh, yeah, look at that rig. With their map on the inside. So all three of them, one-shot deal. Like I said, I got some great matchbooks out of this stuff I've been getting. So all of these going together, one shot. Pete at 15. Found the live stream of checking out my ad on Craigslist. Well, I'm glad you saw that, Charlie. Glad you stopped by and hanging out with us. Hope you're having fun. We do it every Sunday. Mark at 20. Do this every Sunday night and every Tuesday night. We do Toy Tuesday where we talk about this memorabilia type stuff. Let's get this thing going on the timer and get to selling some trucking matchbooks. Kenny at 22. And there's the 1 minute mark. Kenny at 22. Minute 20's passed. Past the minute 30 mark. $20 seconds left to go. Kenny at 22. All three trucking matchbooks. Mark at 25. And that does it. Mark slid that one in right at the end, 25. That was a good shot. Kenny came back at 26, but it was a little too late, so. Let's catch another can. We've done one or two of these in the past. They're a great can. The Motorcraft tune-up kits. These are Motorcraft from the late 60s with the Ford GT40 in action across the front of the can. This is a sealed can. It does still have the parts in it. Kit number TKG17. This does have plugs, points still in it. One set of Autolite spark plugs, one Motorcraft point set, one Motorcraft condenser, one feeler gauge, one cam lubricant packet, and one instruction sheet from 1966. Jeff Steel Putters, Jeff starts off at 15. This can is dated 1966. We know exactly how old it is. Alex at 25 has the Ford GT40 in action across the front, still sealed on the top. $13.95 is probably what they had it on the parts shelf for. Let's get it on the timer. I've got Alex at 25 on the sealed Motorcraft tune-up can. Steel Ponies Jeff at 28. Tony at 28, but I already had Jeff first. Tony at 30. Alex at 30. I had Tony first that time. Alex at 35. Mark's going to be framing his matchbooks. Mark, and you better hang on because we got some awesome matchbooks coming up. I mean, just some of these matchbooks are so cool. You guys are going to lose your minds on some of the graphics on some of these. Check that stack out. And there's some, man, some of those are great. Tony at 38. Where are you at? Where are you from, Charlie? Since you're in Kansas, where are you at? And there's the 1 minute mark. Pomona. I've heard of that, but I don't remember exactly where it's at. I think you're kind of east central, aren't you? That's true, Scott. $14 in 1966 is about 130 now. That's true. Minute 20 is passed. Tony at 38. And there's the minute 30 mark. Alex at 42 with 20 seconds left to go. Big Job, 44. Bill Disk at 44. I had Big Job first. Tony at 46. And that does it. Tony at 46. Had a couple of them pop up right there at the end, but Tony slid back in there at 46. That one got kind of interesting too, guys. Have you won before, Tony? I don't remember if you won before. Yeah, it's a GT40, an action shot of a GT40. All right. Let me kind of regroup here. Where are we at? How about a toy? We haven't done a toy tonight. Randy, what did I miss? Drifted off. We're right in the middle of the auction, so. I've got a toy that I was going to keep, but it's just sitting here. I haven't done anything with it. So we're going to send it down the road to one of you guys. I know you guys will dig it too. I know I've got stuff similar to this one. I don't know if I've got this exact one, but I do have similar ones. So I am going to go ahead and sell this one. This is back when Dodge was in the big rigs, and this is a great piece. I love this thing. I can't believe I'm going to sell it, but I've got some other stuff similar to it. Check this thing out. Now, some of these tires are loose. This one's trying to fall off the front. So some of these tires are loose, and I don't know if they need a daub of glue to hold them on there. The end gate opens. It does dump. But this was back when Dodge was in big rigs. See, that tire's trying to fall off of there. Yeah, I don't know if they're Firestones or what. So stacks are still here. Yeah, it's like a Dodge Bighorn Semi, something like that. So it is missing a few tires, but there is enough to put one on every wheel. That one does not want to stay on the front. So there's the big Dodge Semi toy. It says Dodge Trucks right on the side of it. So anyway, on the bottom of it, it does act like a tractor trailer. This is attached, though. The trailer is attached on it. It is a Matchbox branded piece. So anyway, there it is. Nobody's bidding on it, so maybe I'll just throw it back in the box for anybody bids on it because I was on the fence whether I was going to sell it or not. So we'll give it a few more seconds, and then I can throw it back in the box and keep it and move on to something else. So, nope. I didn't figure that was going to happen. Mark's going to bid 10 on it. Big job at 20. Thanks, guys. You ruined my plan. Now there's all kinds of bids coming. Dennis at 12. I've got big job at 20. It's on the timer. It's got to go. Mark at 25. Weston 15. I got Mark at 25 is our current high bidder. Yeah, I can't throw the some of the tires will fall off. It's a cool piece. Like I said, I've got a few of these other ones that have the Dodge truck stickers on them. That's why I decided to go ahead and let this one go. So, Mark at 25. And there's our 1 minute mark. Minute 20 has passed. Ken at 30. Kenneth at 30. And there's the minute 30 mark. Kenneth at 30. Even got a tow hook on the back of it. It's got a little mechanism in there for the dump. Kenneth at 30. Coming down to the end. Mark at 33. And that does it. Mark at 33. It's a great truck. I love these things. Who's going to the car show in Ottawa? That's a little far away from me, so I won't be there, but make sure this. I'm going to take this front tire off because it wants to be off pretty bad. I'll put it in the back. How about something for our Chevy fans? Michael's on with us. But Michael's getting excited. Says he's got a 7098 heading to him tomorrow, so that's pretty cool. The 7098 convertible that just came in is heading Michael's way tomorrow, so. All right, something for our Chevy fans. How about a Chevy badge bundle? We haven't done one of these yet. We're going to give you an Auburn badge to think about it. And starting off with, this is kind of a, just transporters have to pick them up. Transporters have to pick them up and suck them on time down and deliver them. Had a transport in here Friday morning and got another one coming from Michael's car tomorrow. So did I sell the Charger? Depends on which Charger. But the Chevrolet badge bundle, yeah, Eric, that 7098 is a cool car. You know, it's been sitting a long time. It's going to need some work, but man, the bones on that thing are so good. Yeah, you couldn't see it real well underneath when I did the video, but floor pans, frame, and stuff in that car just looks amazing. So, the first badge is a plastic one. Any 65 Dodge trucks. I don't have any that are 65s. Got like some 3s and 4s, and then I go to 68, I think. The Monte Carlo, late 70s, early 80s, G-body era, probably Monte Carlo. This is a plastic stick-on badge, chrome-plated. This one is 5.5. The next one, also late 70s, early 80s, Camaro. This is also a plastic stick-on badge, chrome-plated plastic Camaro. It is 5 7/8. So 2 late 70s, early 80s era pieces, and then we're going to back up to the early to mid 70s on the Malibu Classic. Now this one is still metal. Outcast made it. Got a 60s two-door Cougar parts car today for $50. Oh, that's pretty reasonable. So send me some pictures of it, Outcast, and I'll see if there's anything I can do with it. I might be interested in it. I've only got 1 or 2 of those, so I might be interested if there's any parts left on it. Just give me a shout tomorrow. Send me some pictures of it. So anyway, let's see. I don't have any slant sixes that I know anything about, Charlie, that I know would be good. Auction score video going up tomorrow at Outcast Projects. Johnny Z at 15. This Malibu Classic is 70s era. Just get back on task here a little bit. 3.5 by 2 1/4. It is flat. It is metal. It is stud mount. Perfect. That'll work. And on all 3 of these, right here, Johnny Z, start us off at 15 on the little Chevy badge bundle. Let's get this thing on the timer so we can keep moving. And I will start looking at what we're going to do next. What have we not done in a minute here? Johnny Z at 15, all 3 of them. I think we'll pull another cool plate out for here in a minute too, so. One minute has passed. Johnny Z may get a deal on these. Oh, wow, that sucks, Joe. Joe's dad had a couple strokes today. That's terrible. Hopefully he pulls through. Minute 20 has passed. There's the minute 30 mark. Johnny Z likes Chevy badges. Maybe we'll get a deal on these. The Malibu Classic is metal. These 2 are plastic. This one's metal. Michael at 16. 15 seconds left to go. Michael at 16. Norma at 20. Mark and Pete at 18, but I got Norma at 20. Mark at 21. And that does it. Mark at 21. Johnny Z back at 22, but it was too late. Mark at 21 is who we had at the 2-minute mark. And then Michael at 25. They were all coming in there afterwards. So, but that's what makes it fun and interesting, guys. That's the whole purpose. I don't. If you guys are still on Facebook, I mean, if there's just nothing you're interested in, that's fine. But I've not seen any bids pop up on Facebook or any comments at all pop up on Facebook for quite some time. So if you guys are still there and have tried to bid on anything, it's not feeding me. Just so you know. If not, that's perfectly fine. I just want to let everybody know. Let's see. Let's do something different. We've never done any of these before. I'm gonna see what you guys think of these. I've got 2 of them. We'll sell them together. They're kind of cool, though. Let's see. I believe they're 68 and 69. Chevy Nova dealership postcards. Ozark Fox made it. Here's the first one. Now, what's cool about these is the dealership actually sent these to customers. From Markham Chevrolet, Osborne, Kansas. Kevin's going to sign off. Well, glad you got on for a while tonight. Hope you get to feeling better. So that's a 68, I believe, and the 69. Same thing, the 1969 Nova with torque drive. You won't clutch at this price. Once again, Markham Chevrolet Company, Osborne, Kansas. Mail to potential customers. AMC Rebel. Anyone here an AMC guy? I like AMCs, but I don't know much about those Rebels. Okay, we're still there on Facebook. Michael, Scott. Okay, perfect. I just hadn't seen anything pop up. I wanted to make sure you guys knew that if you were trying to bid, I wasn't seeing anything. So a pair of Nova postcards mailed out to potential customers by the salesman. So what do we think on these? These are standard size postcards. They were both mailed. They are both postmarked on the pair. Mark at 10. This one is just like the 69 showroom poster. I believe that probably was as well. Mark at 10. Pete at 11. Getting the pair of them, one money, kind of cool. With the original printing and everything still on the back. Back when they mailed them, they sent them to Murray Matter in Portis, Kansas. No address, just the town. John at 12. Charlie's got to go to bed. Had a long day. Great. Perfect, Charlie. Glad you had fun. Hope you come back. Hope you enjoyed it. We do it every week. So Tony at 15 on the postcards. As we hit the 1 minute mark. Scott's working with us while hanging out with a buddy working on a 69 GTO. Well, that's not a bad way to spend the evening. John at 16 on the pair. Minute 20. Great. Charlie said he'll be back. Glad you had fun with us. Minute 30 has passed. John at 16. Tony at 18. 15 seconds left to go. Tony at 18. Mark at 20, and that does it. That was a 159 shot there. Mark at 20. Holy cow. But they're cool pieces, so. Got another great can. Let's do a great. This is a super sharp little can. I did just drain this from the bottom. So the top is still sealed. It's a good looking can. It's got nice bright colors. I was pretty impressed with it. It is the Prestone Stop Leak Cooling System Sealer and Stop Leak. Obviously, what's great about cans is eye appeal and color, and this thing definitely has it for just a cooling system stop leak can. Check this thing out. The red, the blue, the white, the silver, the solid red shield, the silver and white stripes, the blue Prestone. Just great colors that really, really pop. This is a pint can. It has the Ever Ready still on it. Kind of made it look like a battery, I guess. I don't know. The top, like I said, I punched this from the bottom. So the top is actually still sealed with this tear seal on it. Highlander's jumping off. Glad you, just more boring Chevy stuff. Oh, we got a little bit of more Ford stuff. I'll see if we get to it tonight. On the little Prestone, like I said, this is like a pint can. It is 5 3/4 all the way to the top. 5 3/4 all the way to the top. And 2 5/8 across. It's basically like a pint brake fluid can, the old metal pint brake fluid cans. Great looking can, though, for sure. The colors just pop on this thing. The design is cool. Michael started us 2 here. I got Michael at 10 on Facebook on the Prestone can. So I've got Michael at 10, Mark at 5, but I still got Michael at 10's high bidder. That went next to the Barbasol can in the medicine cabinet. You can stop the leak. So Michael at 10, let's get this thing on the timer and get Boogie in here. Kenny at 12. Michael at 15. Do you ever find any Freeze 12? I haven't even heard the name Freeze 12 in a long time. Kenny at 16. I haven't seen Freeze 12 in years. Michael at 20. Kenny at 22. And there's the 1 minute mark. Kenny at 22. We come up on the minute 20. There's minute 20. Minute 30's passed. Kenny at 22. That Big Job says trigger fingers are ready. Yeah, especially when a can with this kind of color and pop. 20 seconds left. Kenny at 22. Michael at 23. Coming down to the wire on this one. Just a few seconds left. Kenny at 24. Mark at 25, and that does, holy cow. Mark slid another one in there at like 159. Mark at 25. I don't know how Mark is doing this. Maybe Mark's dating somebody on YouTube this week. Yeah, Michael Glagol is bidding on Facebook. Yeah. How about another cap? Let's back this one up to, I don't know if this is 30s, maybe 40s. Might work. Yeah, you might want to wear sunglasses. I'm sitting here looking at myself in the caps. So he said his wife would kill him if he was dating somebody from YouTube. So here we go. Let's get an Auburn badge up there. No, we've got a Michael on Facebook and Michael Brown on YouTube. So now we've still got Michael on Facebook as well. And we got a really great looking Chevrolet cap up next. Holy cow, that thing is bright. I think this is like late 30s, early 40s. It's got the ribs here. It's got the up and down ribs. Few dings and dents, but I mean, shoot, it's probably around 80 years old. So I guess considering it doesn't look too bad. If this is a steel cap, look at the backside of this thing. It's even pretty clean on the back. I don't know what colors these were painted. I would assume these ridges were painted around the Chevrolet letters. Just a tick under 10 on this one. About 9 3/4, 9 7/8. Big Job. Michael at 26 is our high bid. So Kenny at 30. Let's get this thing on the timer. Kenny at 30 is our current high bidder. Michael, 35. Michael Gagola, 33 over here. I got Michael at 35 on Facebook or on YouTube first. So Michael, Kenny at 36. Michael Brown at 50. And there's our coming up on our 120 mark. There's the 120 mark. I missed the minute mark. Michael Brown at 50. There's a minute 30. Big Job said his friend doesn't deserve quite that good. So 20 seconds left to go. Pete, 61. And that'll do it. Pete at 61. Got that in at about 156. Michael came right back at 65. Just a few seconds too late. All right. That one got a little interesting too. But that's what we're here for. We're having fun doing it, adding stuff to your guys' collection, giving you a Hudson badge. And hang on, boys. This is a good one. This is a doozy. I told you we had one more good plate coming tonight. I didn't hold it till clear to the end. I wanted to share it with you now. We'll get a few more things after this, but this is the plate I was telling you about earlier. 100 years old. The 1923 Kansas plate. Mark wants more matchbooks. We can probably slide one more batch of matchbooks in. Check this beauty out. Original paint, 1923 Kansas. The back is soiled a little bit. Eric at 65, starting us off. This is a little bit bigger than our normal plates. Joe better get in the kitchen so he's got some room to jump. This plate is almost 15 inches. Our standard plates that we're familiar with today are 12. This is 15 inches by 5 3/4. Appears to be all original paint, kind of an off-white that's kind of turned brownish, black letters, KN 1923, and it's quite a piece. Let's go ahead and get her on the timer. I got all kinds of bids here. Let me sort them out. Leo at 80. Kenny at 81. Alex needs a 17 for his T. All right, let me find some more matchbooks to do here in a little bit for Mark. And figure out, we'll see what else we want to do. We'll do one or two more little things here yet. Eric at an even 100 on a 100-year-old plate. Actually, I use the yellow legal pad to write everything down from the auction so I keep track of it all. So that's what I'm doing with the yellow legal pad. This has all the auction stuff on it. There's the 1 minute mark. Eric at 100. Eric at an even 100. Kenny at 101 as we hit the minute 20 mark. Minute 30 has passed. $20 seconds left. Kenny at 101. Norma, 125. Michael at 130. And that does it. Michael at 130. Norma came back at 140, but just a little bit too late. Great piece. Let's catch a can. Matchbooks. Well, maybe one more cap, guys. You want one more cap? And then we'll wrap it up, get into the magazine. We need to get to the magazine here pretty quick. So this can has a little bit of paint loss, but it's a great looking can. It was drained from the bottom on this premium motor oil Phillips 66 heavy duty. Eric wants a grease cap. I don't have any extra grease caps tonight. I'll try to get some more of those rounded up. This has a little bit of paint loss up here along the top edge, but the shield looks great. It's kind of a burgundy and white. Lube protection on the back. Metal can. We see the steel seam here. Top is still intact. SAE 2020. Punched at the bottom. Original paint. Good looking piece other than this bad spot up here where we've got a little bit of paint loss on this Phillips 66 can. Michael's starting us off at 30 on this can. Let's go ahead and get rolling. Norma's a little slow tonight. I had a long week. Great looking can. Great colors. Just a shame we've got a little bit of paint loss up here. So Kenny at 32. Do I have any bullet-nosed T-birds? What years do you consider a bullet-nosed T-bird? Michael at 40. Oh, 61 to 63. I've got a couple of them. I've got one that there's very little left of and one that's mostly there, but there's no motor or tranny in it. One minute has passed. One minute, 20 seconds has passed. Coming up on that minute 30 mark, I've got Michael at 40. And there's our minute 30 mark. $20 seconds left to go. Michael at 50, Pete at 42. So Michael covered himself with that $50 bid right there at the last second because Pete was shooting for him, and he covered himself. I don't know if he's seen that before I did, but he had ESPN and knew it was coming. Michael at 50 on the Phillips can. All right, let's do one more little cap, one more book of matchbooks, and then we're going to get into the magazine to finish up that awesome magazine from last week. This cap is late 60s. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's some sort of a Rambler, I believe. It's got a really cool little shield on it, though, so I figure you guys might like it. It was originally red, white, and blue. I'm not sure what model this was off of, but I sure thought it was neat, and I figured you guys would enjoy it. Check this thing out. Got this American-looking shield with the eagle head on it. This is a stainless cap. This is all stamped into the metal. The red and blue obviously was painted in, and it had a black background. You can see some black around the edges there. I don't know if these edges over here were black or not originally, but they may have been. Like I said, this is a stainless cap, stainless on the back. Where you can see where this is all stamped in there. And it is right at 10 inches, just a hair over 10 inches, 10 1/8 maybe on the outside diameter. It is somewhat domed here in the middle, kind of comes up to the middle and sinks back down in here for the little shield. Probably maybe for like a Rambler American or something. Maybe I assume that's where that symbol is from. Not sure, just thought it was kind of a neat, cool looking cap. So thought we'd throw this one up here and see what you guys think of it. I thought it was a little bit different. We'll see what you guys think. And then we will get one more group of matchbooks, then we'll get on to the magazine. So Mark at 15, Alex at 30 on the little, I'm thinking Rambler American Cap. It is kind of different. So we are live on this one. We'll do one more group of matchbooks, and then we're going to get into that magazine. Let me start picking up my mess here so we're ready to get to the magazine here shortly. And like I said, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We didn't go through half these boxes tonight, so I got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Ticking away, I've got Alex at 30 on the little Rambler American Cap, getting close to that 1 minute mark. And there she goes. 1 minute has now passed on this little cap. Alex at 30. Something kind of different. Kind of mix it up a little bit. Minute 20 has passed. And there's our minute 30. Alex at 30. No IH caps in the box now. I ought to try to do some of that. Michael at 55. Joe says Rambler American 62 to 64. Michael at 55. 15 seconds left to go. Or he pulled the 50. He meant 50. He pulled the 55. He had both of them up there. So he wants 50. Michael at 50. And that does it. He was trying to cover himself. It was already past the 2 minute mark. I've got Michael at 50 on the little Rambler American Cap. All right, let's catch some matchbooks and let's get to the magazine. Mark wanted some more matchbooks. We got great matchbooks coming. And you guys can't wait till we see what I got coming for Toy Tuesday on matchbooks for me, too. Next, we're going to do, this is just a pair. There's just two of them because they're that cool. Authorized Caterpillar, Sales Parts and Service, Pape Brothers, Eugene Roseburg, Coquille. I guess this is Oregon. Pape Cat. The other one is Heldon McCoy Machinery Company, Caterpillar, Denver, Colorado. Check this thing out. Check this old crawler out. This one has a cat on the inside. This one is blank on the inside. These are both Caterpillar dealers. Original type stuff on both these. This one obviously looks earlier, but kind of neat pieces. Something kind of different. Let's see what you guys think. Let's kick this thing off. Let's get rolling on it. Let's get on to the magazine. Last piece for tonight, pair of Caterpillar matchbooks. Mark wants more matchbooks. Told me to squeeze one more batch in to wrap tonight up with. So he's starting us off at 10. These are cool pieces. Just call me tomorrow, Michael, and then I can give you your total. I've got it all wrote down on my big yellow pad. So, yeah, we can touch base with it on it tomorrow. And that's not uncommon, Michael. A lot of guys check with me on Monday if they bought 3 or 4 things, just to make sure that we jive on everything. More hearts coming up, more party favors coming up. That's great. Mark at 10 on the Caterpillar matchbooks. Yep, no problem, Michael. Do it every week. So, and there's the 1 minute mark. Mark tries to keep his own notes too. Yeah. And a lot of guys do. And even some of those guys have to call me and check in case they miss something. So Mark at 10 on the Caterpillar Matchbooks, coming up on the minute 20 mark. There's the minute 20. X-ray at 12. Minute 30 has passed. Good idea, Kenny. Just send me a blank check. We'll figure it out. 20 seconds left to go. Yeah, don't feel bad, Michael. A lot of guys that write it down will call me and double check, especially if they bought 3 or 4 or 5 things, just to make sure they're on the right page. X-ray at 12. Coming down to the wire. Michael at 13. Is Mark going to get back in or not? Michael at 13. Mark at 15. And that will get it. Mark snuck it back in there again on one of those really tight shots, but he got it in there at 15. That one got a little close. Leo looks forward to every Sunday. Oh, he just watched, Leo just went back and watched the first part of the show to see what he won. All right, great auction tonight. Thanks, everybody. Had a lot of fun. We'll start sorting that mess out tomorrow and getting some of this stuff shipped. So, like I said, PayPal, check, money order, Western Union, whatever works for you. And you got any questions, just give me a shout. On to the magazine. We need to keep rolling so we don't get too far behind tonight. That's right. Pete says great auction. It was a lot of fun tonight. These auctions are always great. We had some cool stuff tonight. And like I said, we put a dent in the boxes is all we did because there's still so much stuff in here. So had a great time with everybody. And let's get Boogie into Motor Trend, April 1959. We'll do the back half of this magazine tonight. We did the first half last week. We're going to catch the back half tonight, including classifieds. Always a lot of fun. We have an Auburn badge to think about it. Let's keep moving. Starting off in the middle of the magazine, cover price on this magazine, 35 cents in 1959. The car of the year, the 1959 wide track Pontiac on the front. We caught all of that last week. So let's get moving into the back half. Starting on page 46 tonight, since we did the first half last week. And they had some really great feature cars, starting off with the rebuilt Wreck and the Bronze Bombshell. Now, you got to remember, we've got to take ourselves back in time to 1959. Basically the end of 1958. This is an April magazine, so it would have come out in March, which means they probably wrote most of this in December 58, January 59. Too bad I don't auction off that magazine. So we're taking ourselves back to the end of 1958, the beginning of 1959. The rebuilt Wreck, starting with a total. Kenny Woods of Charleston, West Virginia, used his body shop knowledge and $850 to customize this 56 Chevy. A lot of custom features there. We can obviously see the 58 Ford side trim, the 57 Chevy grill bar in place of the 56 standard grill, still using the standard 56 park lights, custom taillight lenses in the stock housings. Now, the bottom half of this, the Bronze Bombshell. A nailhead Buick powered 51 Merc with the the iconic DeSoto grill. 51 Merc, DeSoto grill, nailhead power, about as quintessential of a custom as you can get from the 50s. So that's right. Most of these didn't have much color in them, so we kind of got to work with what we've got. Michael's starting to, you got to try to buy my magazine. Michael started bidding on it. Tony wants it. The next page, another custom car, the Finn 54 Ford. I always wanted a good-looking custom, says Gary Steinmetz of Gilroy, California. And here's how he got his wish with tasteful design and borrowed parts. So, pretty interesting car. 54 Ford Victoria, two-door hardtop. Some interesting touches on this car. Got to be careful. That's one thing we got to be careful about. These old magazines are pretty fragile. We see the fins on this car. Obviously not stock 54 Ford. They are, actually Studebaker Golden Hawk, 57 Golden Hawk. Those were actually a removable fin. They were a separate piece of sheet metal. I've had some before off of those Golden Hawks. Grafted onto this 54 Ford, 56 Olds taillights, 54 Ford grill, but the center of the 54 Ford grill has been customized. Obviously custom side moldings with a lot of shaved trim and full fender skirts and flipper caps. A lot of the standard custom features from the late 50s. Now, there wasn't as many articles in the back half of the magazine because a lot of the back half of the magazine were the continuations of the articles from the first part of the magazine, but there are still some really good ones in here that we definitely want to catch. We talked a little bit about the small cars at the beginning of this magazine last week because there again, we're in late 1958, early 1959. Nash, AMC, we're starting to play with the small car market. Obviously, Crosley was already in the small car game. The big three were not yet playing ball. It was on the horizon. They knew it was coming. We talked about that a lot last week. However, this article is kind of different. No pictures. GM's new small car. An interview with the president and chairman of the board at GM discloses some interesting sidelights of their small car project. Now, all this is an interview, no pictures. There's a couple of interesting points that we want to read in here. Now, we got to remember, we're at the beginning of 1959. 1960 is not here yet. Nobody knows about the Corvair. Nobody knows about the Buick Special, the Olds F-85, the Pontiac Tempest. Nobody knows about any of those cars. So in this, and we'll just catch a couple of excerpts out of this article, but they're asking about the chairman of the board, the president, about trying to get information about the upcoming small car that everybody knows is coming, but nobody will talk about, I guess is kind of where they're going. The question, do you have anything further to say about the small car at this time? And their answer, we have been pretty active in work on small cars and nothing has happened in the time intervening between our previous announcements and the present, which is at all discouraging to our program. Is this a General Motors Corporation or a division project? Because you've got to remember, in 1958, GM had half the market. There was more competition between Cadillac, Buick, Oldsmobile, Pontiac, and Chevy than there were with any of those divisions in Ford and Chrysler. There was more intercompany competition than there was with the other manufacturers, much less AMC or Studebaker Packard. So there was question, is it going to be a division? Are the divisions competing against themselves, or is it a company-wide project? And their answer was the divisions are still part of GM, and I don't know how you differentiate. That was what their canned answer was. But back then, everybody knew that that's how GM operated. Tony just scored another magazine with Arnie the Farmer Beswick off of eBay. Nothing wrong with that. Arnie the Farmer Beswick, super cool Pontiac racer from years gone by. I did meet him one time out here. We got his autograph at the Pontiac Indian Uprising that they have every year at Great Bend at the SRCA drag strip. Now, something else where they were kind of fishing, they asked the question. Now, you got to remember, we are in December 1958. We don't know anything about the Corvair yet, in theory. Has any research shown the advantage of an engine in the rear as against the conventional engine location? Their answer, they both work pretty well. There again, fishing, needling, trying to get some information because there was already rumor about this. Obviously, we now know the Corvair was rear-wheel drive. But however I looked it up, I was kind of curious. The Corvair was officially introduced in October of 1959. October 21st of 1959. Zach made it. Whiskey Business is here. He's late, but he made it. Well, I'm glad it's better late than never, Zach. So October of 59, 6 months after this magazine came out, was before the Corvair was introduced. They asked, have you reached the point of no return? They said, no, not yet. So there again, we don't have time to get into all of this, but a lot of very, very vague answers to a lot of very, very specific questions, trying to get some information out because it was such a big deal at the time. Everybody anticipated I just saw Zach pop up. that GM was going to make a small car, but they were being very, very tight-lipped about it, as very well evidenced by the responses, the canned responses in this article, while they were being somewhat grilled about the small car coming out in GM's lineup. Obviously, we know, and they knew 6 months later, that the Corvair would come out. It would be an air-cooled rear-mounted engine, but that wasn't until October of 1959. This article came out in end of March, 1st of April, 1959. So 6 months prior. Let's see. Dino Sausage just found a stack of old motor mags. That's cool. Dino's having, yeah, that is cool stuff. That's why we do them. That's why we're doing these magazines right now, because it's a lot of fun to do them. So one more article, then we're going to catch some ads, and then we're going to catch some classifieds, because the classifieds, as always, are epic. And the last article that we're going to catch was really kind of interesting and really kind of different. Corvair motor. I know it was used in the scale down cord. That's correct, Billy Idol. It was. If you haven't caught those videos, you should go. If you're interested in that, we actually did a video with Felix, who was directly involved with the development of the 810 cord with Glenn Prey. And we've got videos on that. It was pretty cool. And Felix was there. Felix had one of the cars in his shop. He was working on it. He walked us through what they did to develop that car. So that video is on the channel, Billy Isle, if you're curious about that. Great video. Felix was there. Talk about out of the horse's mouth. The guy that did the video was the guy that helped Glenn Prey design and set that configuration up. The last article we're going to look at tonight, suddenly it's 1980. Suddenly it's 1980. Remember, this is in 58, 59. Suddenly it's 1980. Will future cars be powered by electricity? Possibly, says DeSoto. I thought that was kind of odd. This article was with DeSoto. A few pictures of some prototype DeSotos. Now, we obviously know none of this came to fruition by 1980. Cars that run on electricity, it's not a wild dream, but probably a long way in the future. But then again, who knows? When we saw the sketches and 3/8 scale model you see on these pages, we went to A.E. Kimberly, DeSoto's chief engineer and director of the product. We asked him if this car was a stylist's dream or if it had partial application. Here's what he had to say. The DeSoto Cella 1 is strictly an idea car. The ideas, however, have not been pulled out of thin air. When we speak of a revolutionary electrochemical system, we're referring to something that has been proved. Lockheed Aircraft has already developed practical applications of this principle, though not on a scale needed to power a car. We call the propulsion idea a radical departure from previously explored engineering concepts such as gas turbines, free piston, and solar energy engines, or advanced reciprocating engines. Hydrogen and oxygen gases would be fed into a cell, with the resulting chemical interaction being converted directly into electrical energy. It's similar in principle to the operation of a present-day dry charge battery. So this was hydrogen fuel cell technology they were working on in the late 50s. I didn't know. I haven't talked to Dennis or Alex. They need Auburn parts. I don't know. I'll text Dennis tomorrow and check with him. Zach, appreciate that. But no, I haven't talked to Dennis. I talked to Dennis. Oh, it's been probably a month. We texted back and forth quite a bit one night. But no, I'll check in with them tomorrow and see what they need. So thanks for throwing that up there. But what was really weird about this whole concept was that this was DeSoto. And there again, we're at the end of 1958, right at the beginning of 1959. DeSoto was gone in 61. And very few cars were built in 61. 60 was their last real full year of solid production for DeSoto. So I thought that was kind of odd that DeSoto was at the forefront of testing this technology. Michael's going to sign off. Glad you're here tonight, Michael. Yet they were gone a couple years later as a division. So that made it even a little more weird, being the article suddenly 1980 talking about new technology, and then it being DeSoto, which evaporated shortly thereafter. So anyway, let's get to some ads. A couple of exhaust ads to start things off with. A completely new concept in muffler design, the Super G, which features no straight-through muffler ever had until now. Super G mufflers at your favorite dealer or automotive store. Check this thing out. Yeah, just give me a shout tomorrow, Michael. Not a problem. We'll get her all sorted out. Oh, they're recreating Ed Iskey's Ford T-Bucket. Okay. Yeah, I'll text Dennis tomorrow and see if there's something they were needing. The next ad, once again, more exhaust stuff, but exhaust was a big deal back in that day. Obviously, in today's world, we don't hardly ever do any exhaust work at all anymore. But this one's for Fenton. There's only one kind of muffler you need for every car, the Fenton Hush Tone, the only glass pack muffler with a lifetime guarantee. Obviously, Fenton, well known for making basically exhaust manifold type headers for 6-cylinder Chevys, performance parts back in the 50s, and glass pack mufflers by the late 50s. Yeah, they are good clear pictures for black and white, that's for sure. Another cool racing ad for Amoco Gasoline. Amoco Gas again powers all cars in the Sebring Grand Prix with some really cool, it's all sports car stuff, but I see some cool stuff there. Looks like there's some Ferraris even there. Whoa, come back here. Oh, 31 to 37 Auburn dashboard. I'd have to see if Doug still has some of those. I'll check with Dennis and see, and then I can check with Doug. That's not a problem. But yeah, using an Auburn dashboard was a pretty big deal for a hot rod back then because they were such an elaborate and beautiful dash. This ad actually has a little bit of color to it. One color. They added a little yellow to it for the DA Speed Sport Oil. DA Lubricant Company, Indianapolis, Indiana. The best race car in the United States and the oil which helps make it best. DA Speed Sport Oil. I actually do have these cans too. I've got a couple of them. It's a good looking can. And a full page ad. They put a little bit of red in this one for one of our regular advertisers that we always like to look at. How about husband badge? Honest Charlie's. Order by mail. What do they have in Honest Charlie's? Triple manifold kits, cams, flipper caps, porta walls, all kinds of cool stuff. Contemporary linkage for your multiple carb sets and setups, pinstriping, flippers, all kinds of cool stuff. We'll just let you guys take this one in for a few minutes on the full page Honest Charlie's ad for April of 1959. This next ad, this one was kind of funny. I got a kick out of this. I actually had to read a little bit about it. For the new Mileage Minder, here's the fuel pressure stabilizer and purifier that will solve your car's fuel waste problems. Yes, the Mileage Minder. Mileage Minder is a combination fuel pressure stabilizer and purifier. Its dual neoprene diaphragm is spring supported, acts as a pressure storage or surge chamber. Surges of gasoline from fuel pump are cushioned, then passed to carburetor in a smooth, economical flow. Fuel pressure is stabilized, not reduced. Order your Mileage Minder for $6.95. Full page ad. Obviously, I don't think they ever really took off. That's a good idea, Big John. Maybe Harley want to do some more retro type ads. They catch people's eye. Zach will take one of everything from the Honest Charlie's ad at those prices. Yeah. And of course, we did Honest Charlie's. So you guys know what's coming next. Yep. Our regular standard JC Whitney ad. Once again, full page ad, no color on theirs. Honest Charlie splurged for a little bit of red. But a lot of similar type stuff. Club plaques, add-on flippers. They do have Continental kits listed in here. $49.95 for Continental kits from JC Whitney. Next, let's catch the inside cover on the back. And then we'll get to some classifieds. Instant Simonize gives you a real Simonize job without all the hard work. So that catches the ads and the articles. Let's check out what kind of deals are going on right now in the classified section. What was for sale in April of 1959? If we really want to cry. Let's see. What do we got here? 1932 Packard convertible coupe, Dietrich body, new top and overhauled engine. $550. 37 Cord Westchester sedan, restored, all original equipment, 25,000 miles, original miles, perfect condition, few minor items. They spent $1,800 in 2 years on it. Best offer over $1,200. 32 Chrysler convertible, completely restored to near perfect condition, rumble seat, wire wheels, side mounts, trunk, rack, and trunk. $850 for a fully restored 32 Chrysler convertible. 1928 Stutz Blackhawk, two-seater fishtail speedster, perfect mechanically, original paint and upholstery, new tires, excellent specimen, $4,000. That was a ton of money back then. Now this other one, this next one was crazy. You talk about stuff you want to jump on. 1959 Mercedes 300 SL Roadster. $7,150. Now $7,150. That was almost a house in 59. This was almost a new car though, too. It was basically a brand new Mercedes, $7,150 for a 59 300 SL Roadster. I looked it up. Meekum sold one at Monterey last fall, 6-8 months ago. I think it was like $1.485 million. So yeah. 36 Auburn Speedster with all accessories, light new, $4,350. Also, 2 cord dashes with instruments and panel, $50 a piece. What else do we have that's kind of interesting in here? The classifieds, they kind of got everything run together. So some of this is just, magazines and heaters and things like that. So kind of trying to pick out some of the cars as I'm scanning through here. 35 Chrysler Airflow, excellent shape, no rust, fine finish in chrome. Best offer over $300. 32 Ford Model B coach, completely original and intact, including tire cover and gasoline stick. Driven only 35,000 miles, perfectly preserved and drivable anywhere. $575 for a deuce. Crazy. Norma's got to jump off. Glad you're with us tonight, Norma. Here's something kind of different. Detroit Electric 4-passenger cabriolet. Thoroughly overhauled with new wooden top and new upholstery. Good battery, tires. Speedometer shows 1,000 miles. $1,500. That was a lot of money. Of course, a Detroit Electric was rare even then. 1917 Pierce Arrow engine. Best offer over $100. 32 Rolls-Royce convertible, engine and body in good condition. 17 to 20 miles per gallon. Good to know. $2,000 for 32 Rolls. Yeah, we'd all have more money cars than Jay Leno. I think you're right, Zach. 32 Auburn V12 Speedster, chassis and body completely cleaned and repainted off white, trimmed with metallic blue, engine blue with much chrome. New wood, $3,000. 53 Eldorado convertible. Now you got to remember, this is a 6-year-old Cadillac. A lot of cars didn't last much past 10 years back then. So it's a 6-year-old 53 Eldorado convertible, Alpine white, red and white interior, wire wheels, almost mint condition. 2,700 actual miles. Essentially a brand new 53 Eldorado, $1,650. So kind of some interesting stuff in here, for sure. See if there's anything else we want to catch here real quick. Oh, kind of like the couple more here we'll catch, and then we'll get wrapped up here. 41 Lincoln Continental hardtop coupe with a 47 V12, new paint, wide white walls, overdrive, new exhaust, $795. $795. Kind of to go along with our 53 Eldorado we just picked up. How about a 53 Packard Caribbean convertible? Exterior just painted, interior reupholstered, has every conceivable extra. $500. So that I think that catches most of the classifieds there that stood out as something really cool. So that pretty much wraps us up for tonight's magazine, or actually the last 2 weeks worth of magazines. The Motor Trend from April of 1959, cover price of 35 cents, where Motor Trend selected the wide track Pontiac as the car of the year for 1959. So Kenny's got to jump off. I'm glad you were here. Had a lot of positive comments on this magazine. Glad you guys enjoyed it. A lot of cool stuff in this one, and super excited about it. There again, every time I turn the page, we could have looked at every single thing in here, but we'd still be on this magazine 2 months from now if we did that. So we caught the highlights. Obviously, a ton of great feedback. You guys had a lot of fun with it, and we all enjoyed it. So I'm glad you thought it was cool. And we'll have a new one next week. Now, normally we would talk about the raffle, but we already talked about the raffle. So, what the heck? Let's talk about the raffle. Let's talk about the raffle. The raffle. What happened to the raffle can? Mark says, let's talk. Now, what we're going to do, if we draw more than one name at a night, you can only win once per night. But your name does go back in. It doesn't come out. It's still there for the main drawing, but you can only win once a night. Norma. Norma got off a little too early. Let's grab a packet for Norma. Hey, on my Facebook computer, they just notified me that I'm live on YouTube. So what did Norma get? Let's grab one for Norma, whatever that is. That's what Norma gets. Mark's like, bust it open. Let's go. All right. We got Norma's name on that one. Let's see what we're going to send Norma. It is a little 50. What year is this thing? I think it's like a 55 Ford. A little plastic one. So we'll throw that in her tag box. They just notified Kenny too. So I think this will be fun. We'll see how it works out. I threw a dozen things in there the other night. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it makes it more fun or if it gets boring after a while. But for now, we'll give it a shot and we'll do some of these extra drawings just for the heck of it, just for the fun of it on some of these little toys. I got toys, emblems, matchbooks, all that stuff in there. So there's that one for Norma. Here's Leo's. We'll put that in his box with his tag. So we'll do this for a few weeks, and then you guys are going to tell me what you think of it. So that's right, Michael. Never boring to receive a gift. Journeyman Randy's on with us. I don't think we've seen you on here before, Journeyman. Glad you're here. As we're getting ready to wind things up for tonight, a couple more things to catch, and then we're going to wind this thing down. New inventory. I picked up some stuff this week. The only thing kind of interest is a 50 Buick Super. No nose on it. They actually cut the nose off for wall art, but I've got the rest of the car. It's just a 4-door, but I know the guy that had it. He's like, I just don't want to crush it because there's still good stuff on it. So picked that up. Picked up a couple that I think are going to be long-term worth holding. I got an old mid-'80s Chrysler minivan. So I went in and grabbed that. Or did I have that last week? I don't remember when I picked that up. And picked up, maybe that was last week. I think it was last week. I think it's kind of blurring together. Maybe I just got the Buick. Seemed like I picked up some other stuff this week, but it's all kind of running together. Oh, I did. I picked up a Cadillac SRX, like an early 2000s Cadillac SRX, which is a really unique car for that window. So I'll probably keep that too. Yeah, I got the van last week. That's what I was thinking after I thought about it. I got that Buick, then I went and picked up that Cadillac that same day. That's what I did. Rylan likes it. So anyway, got that done this week. What's coming up? Videos. I've got a farm digging video I want to get up. The farmstead where we went to the big auction in November. I went that's right, Leo, save what we can. It ain't making them anymore. The farm auction from November, I went back there and did some digging. I found a super, super, super cool piece buried in a building that nobody found that day. And I have no idea how, for as many people were at that auction, didn't find this thing. But I did. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. But That's coming up in the farm digging video. Plus, we got some cans and stuff out there, so we may get some of those worked into the next auction. But we'll try to get that farm digging video up. Still got ACD stuff, Armored Core Duesenberg stuff. Still got new inventory. Still got other salvage yard stuff to throw up there. A lot of stuff. Man, maybe it was meant to be, Leo. I'm not sure. Maybe it was. But for as good as this piece was, and for as hard, I'll tell you how hard it is to find these. I've had them before. I've had a handful of them. I've never found one in the wild. I've bought them at swap meets and from other dealers, but I've never just stumbled onto one in the wild, just buried in an old building that, completely uncovered, dirty, crusty. So it's a surprise, Mark. I don't want to give the surprise away, but never found one in the wild like that. Just digging through, like, holy cow! I can't believe that's here, especially for as many people were at that auction. So that's coming up. More Armored Core Duesenberg, more new inventory, all kinds of cool stuff happening. So anyway, with that pretty much wraps things up for me tonight. I'll keep an eye on comments here for just another minute or two as we wind things down. As always, I appreciate you guys swinging by and spending your whole Sunday with me, your whole Sunday night. Ryland's give us the clap. Glad you enjoyed it. I'm just teasing everybody. It's cool. You'll dig it, Zach. I know you'll dig it. It blew my mind to just, that isn't what I'm seeing right there, is it? And I was like, yeah, no. So it was. There, the Johnny Carson comments. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. Still don't know where you guys can even compare me to somebody like Johnny Carson, but I do try. You guys do know I put some effort into this. I try to put a good product together every week. I didn't get out of here till 1 Friday night. I didn't get out of here till 1 last night, but we got it all done. Got it all put together. Had a great time with you guys tonight. Thanks for coming by. Thanks to you guys for making this what it is. There again, some more comments thanking me for another fun night, but it would be pretty boring for me sitting here talking into webcams if you guys weren't here with us. So appreciate it, everybody. Dexter D says now we can't sleep all week. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. You guys do keep coming back. John signing off. Glad you were here with us tonight, John. Sorry I missed you this weekend since we didn't make the swap meet. We'll have to catch you at the next one. I don't know if you're going to Lawrence or not, but I do think we are definitely going to go to Lawrence to that swap meet here in just under a month. But anyway, I'll get ready to wind things down. Keep an eye on the perfect Mark. I'll watch for the check. Maybe it won't take 2 weeks to get here this time. So I actually got both of Mark's 2 checks on the same day, like last Thursday. Both of them, one from 2 weeks ago and the one from this week, all showed up at the same time. So apparently the first one got hung up somewhere for a few days. But we'll be back next week. Stop by Toy Tuesday. We'll see what we're going to do on Toys Tuesday. Because like I said, I have been buying a ton of cool stuff. I don't even know where to start. Maybe we'll just do the Big Kahuna car. Maybe we'll do the Big Kahuna toy Tuesday night. I need to get that thing polished up a little bit because, man, I think it's so awesome. I love it. Scott says, great show. Thanks, Scott. Your guys' support and participation is what makes this what it is. You inviting your friends over, inviting them to come hang out with us, or hanging out at your buddy's house while you're working on his car and hanging out with us. That's what makes this what it is. That's where all the knowledge comes from. That's what makes this a chat, not just me sitting here talking into the computer and telling you guys, telling all you guys different stuff out of my brain. And this chat and your participation is what makes this what it is. That's what makes it different. That's what makes it special. And your guys' participation in the auctions and the raffle makes it fun. I hope the new addition to the raffle is going to be fun as well. We'll see how that works out over the next several weeks. More hearts popping up. Always love the hearts and the party favors. I'll keep an eye on comments here as we wrap up. Be sure to be with us Tuesday night live, 7 o'clock on YouTube for Toy Tuesday. We will get some more content up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Scott says he'd invite friends if he had them. Mark says so far the new raffle shakeup's been a blast. So we'll see what happens. Always looking for different fun things. If you guys have ideas, I'm all ears because this show is more for you guys than it is for me. So with that, I'm going to wind up. Thanks for being here tonight. We hope to see you all 7 o'clock Tuesday night for Toy Tuesday. And definitely, Zach likes the new raffle thing too. Sweet. So I don't think you were here when we talked about it earlier. So, but with that, I hope everybody has a great week. I'm going to sign off, and we hope to see you back here. Same bat time, same bat station, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time next Sunday night for episode number 161 of Sunday Night Live Chat. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for spending your Sunday with me. Hope to see you on Tuesday, and definitely hope to see you next Sunday night. Have a great week, everybody.